They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming.
Mic check. Am I coming in?
Yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they want to come take my place? Now I got rolling, all in rotation. Hop on the jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Starting all black like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. I had to ball, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate.
Salute, everybody in the building. What's good?
I had to go delegate.
What's good, yo?
When I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate.
Flame, what's good, bro?
I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate.
What up? Oh. Salute to everybody in the building for real. Salute Andrew Charles, Pop Shop Talk, RC. What's good? Yeah. We're late. We're running late. You know, got off work a little late today. Running around, chasing myself around, man, to get out here and try to stay consistent with this schedule. Mondays is always difficult. If you notice, we already started late just off the strength. I had the time starting at 10 o'clock rather than our normal, like, 9 o'clock start time. But even then, trying to just get myself together. We here, though. Yeah. Everybody in the building, man. So much to talk about. Obviously, we had a great fight this weekend. Really, we had a couple of fights this weekend that was really great. You know what I'm saying? But I think obviously the one that's on the top of everybody's mind is the Jaron Ennis, David Avanesyan fight, and how much weight does that hold now in other conversations, and you know, how was the event for Jaron Ennis and how his brand looks. And obviously we got Shakur Stevenson in Matchroom. We got Raymond Muratalla. We got Keyshawn Davis still outside making noise, talking, right? Trying to put himself in position. So many things going on. Shakur Williams are paid in WBC. I mean, it's going to be a lot of things that we're talking about tonight. But I think the main thing, like if you guys look at the thumbnail, I said get in the way. You know, a lot of these fighters want to make these fights. Fans want to see these fights, but these fighters have to meet each other halfway, right? Or you got to know the position that you're playing, who you are, how much weight you have, A side, B side politics, right? And you have to be willing to make the proper sacrifices, you know what I mean, to get what you want. And, you know, you making a sacrifice is going to let everybody know how much you want the fight. Because just saying you want the fight is one thing. It's easy to just sit there and be like, yo, I want next. I want to, you know what I mean? You need to see me. That's the best fight. You know, it's good to talk that talk, but what kind of actions is going to follow that talk to turn that talk into a reality? We're going to talk about that tonight. A lot of these guys got to get in the way. Salute Chris Brooks in the building. Salute, Chris. How you?
Freaking Flyer, peace.
Flyer frequent.
Pop Shop, peace. Andrew Charles, peace. RC, definitely, peace. Claymore Rain, peace. What's up? Salute. You know what I mean?
All that tonight, man. We really gonna talk about that.
I see 10 people already in the building. We got 7 lights going on. We got to get that moving, baby. Got to get that moving. 4K in the building. He got my message. Salute 4K.
Salute. So yeah, we're gonna talk about all that. You know what I mean? What the future looking like? You know, what's the role for Teofimo? Teofimo's still outside talking, right? He want to fight Bud. Seems like Bud is might be America's most wanted right now, right next to Canelo, right?
Right.
Bud is right next to Canelo. This is America's most wanted. Everybody wants some of that. Matter of fact, the only person I think is wanted more than Bud and and Canelo potentially might be Dennis Berichick.
Yeah.
They really want him, right? They really want him.
Food.
I don't know.
They like breakfast, lunch, pause.
Yeah, they on his top. They want him out the way. Everybody want a piece of that title right now.
Yeah, for
Mr.
real.
Big Play had to take a break from EA college football to hear my guy. Hey, salute, Big Play, for sure, man. So I'm looking for something here. You guys see me looking around. I'm looking for something. I'm sure it will pop up, so I'm not tripping. I ain't been in my man cave since the last time y'all see me, so everything's kind of disshuffled. I'll get it together though. I'll get it together. So, but how you doing, Ray? How's your week been, man? Or weekend been, really?
You know, we was here, man. You know, other than that, it was good, man. Hanging out with the fam. You know about that, and doing some different things. I mean, we had a game yesterday, did pretty well. But aside from that, you know, everything's everything. Everything's everything. I got, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm checking out the little home run derby.
Little home run derby. Oh, yeah. Salute Eastside Easy with the $10 holla.
Oh, that's what's up.
Salute, family. Peace, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for starting the night off, putting some color in the chat. You know what I mean? Let me find you here. Boom. Brother.
I gotta get out to him too. I gotta get his information from you so I can send him that stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, Easy, I need to holler at you too. I'm gonna touch base with you via Insta. You know what I mean? On some merch type information. We'll communicate about that. But yeah, man. So where do we start? I mean, so much. I mean, everybody there's so much to talk about that did happen this weekend. And, you know, instinctively, I want to go right to Jaron Ennis. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go into that event.
I agree. I'm with that.
Let's just go right into it.
That's the biggest elephant in the room, right? Why not?
Right. No doubt. Let me see. Andrew says, I want to see Bud commit to his new Undisputed campaign. If someone wants to bankroll a Boots or Teal matchup, I'll watch. But I'm 100% on board. I'm 100% on board with Bud's current. 100%. We're gonna talk about that, man. Right. Yo, Andrew, we're gonna talk about that, right? Because now that Boots. Well, let's talk about the event first. Let's start it from the beginning. Number one, congratulations to Philadelphia. They came out and showed out for the for the grandson, Jaron Ennis. They didn't let him down, and I think Jaron put on a good show as well. A good showing that he put on as well, for his city. What a great event! Congratulations to him. Really just broke that guy apart, right? Like David, that's literally what he did. Like Bud knocked him out. Man, it's going down over there.
Yeah, something took a turn. I don't know if you see it.
Yeah, Bud knocked him out. Boots broke him up, right? Boots broke him up. Broke his ribs, broke his jaw, you know, made him quit on the stool. It's arguable. It's reasonable to argue which one is worse. You know, is the breaking up worse? Is the knocking out with one punch worse? Or do they both hold their own weight in their own right? You know what I mean? Salute supporter of boxing. Salute. So it's arguable to say that, you know, at the end of the day, Boots' performance stopping oh my goodness, I can't remember his name, David Avanesyan, stopping him in the manner that he did in that 5th round, or if you want to look at the beginning of the 6th round, however you want to look, let's just say inside of 6, was pretty impressive. You know, he's getting a little critique, he's getting celebrated, and I think everything is warranted. Scrutiny's all part of the game at the end of the day, right? Salute to 4K Zay for the $10 holla, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, we did get monetized, man. Thank you, 4K. Thank you. They both, it's everything's warranted. You know what I'm thinking? I think the space has to understand that when it comes to boxing, there's going to be criticism, there's going to be celebration, there's going to be compliments, there's going to be place. Even Boots himself said that his performance was an A1. He said that himself, how he felt about his own performance, that he felt like he could have done better. So everything is warranted, right? But for the most part, Boots put on a show. I mean, how do you feel about it, Ray? Like, what did you think about the event when you saw Boots?
Well, I'm gonna start with this. I thought what Boots did was exactly what we wanted him to do. Aside from dominate, which I think he dominated, but not in the fashion that people were expecting him to. It was what I expected in a boxing match. I don't care at any level. I don't care what your opponent looked like. That's what it's supposed to be like. I mean, we got back to back weeks of this. I think we actually back to back because we seen Steve Claggett push Shakur. We seen Haratoon push. Claggett pushed Teal and Shakur get pushed by Haratoon, and now we see for the second time David Avanesyan in the United States on a live championship fight pushing his opponent as well. Though the opponent sat there and boxed him and showed class and what boxing really looks like, especially as power guys with power. So it displayed a lot. What's up, Kegi? It displayed a lot, man. And I'm thinking what Boots did was unmeasurable in most eyes because you gotta look at the way he broke down the fight. You gotta look at the way he attacked the opponent. You know what I mean? He took advantage of his weaknesses and exposed them, believe it or not, while he was coming forward and trying to hit him with shots and cut off the ring on him and put pressure. So it was a good fight, and we got to see something different from Boots, rather than him chasing Karen Kakajun around the ring, or him just standing there showboating with Roman Villa. So we got to see something different. He said he didn't go in his bag yet, and that's what he's waiting for the great fights for. But I think for after a year layoff and a tough opponent, I think we got a good fight. That was great. That was a great kickoff.
I agree. I think you got to take everything in consideration. Let me see. Supporter Boxing said Boots was in a rush to KO him because if he took his time and broke him down later rounds, people would say that he's not on the level of Bud. Maybe, right? That's definitely part of the conversation, right? You can't say Boots today. You can't say Jaron Boots Ennis today without saying Bud Crawford. You barely can say Bud Crawford without saying Boots Ennis because the space is just consumed with this fight happening. Maybe one of the hottest fights, most competitive, stylistically competitive fights that can go down today. You know what I mean? I mean, this fight is right next to any given Sunday. This fight is right next to Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez, right? And you can argue one over the other as to which one you'd rather see more than the other one for whatever reasons that you have. So it was only natural that when Boots jumped into this performance and that he was going to share a common opponent with Terrence Bud Crawford and David Avanesyan, that immediately everybody was going to focus their energy on that fight and look at it in that direction. I think even Boots had to admit, his team had to admit that it was necessary for them to end the fight a certain way because they recognized the common opponent that was there. Boots took a lot of risk, and it paid off for him at the end of the day. He stopped him, and he stopped him in a dominating way. Boots was doing a lot, but there's things to criticize. There's things to highlight that Boots did in that fight that you got to question how effective is that going to be against a Bud Crawford. Because if you're talking about David Avanesyan, you're going to look at that fight. You're going to compare everything that goes on that fight. You're going to start thinking about how's he going to look in front of Bud, right? A lot of horseplay, or I don't know if you want to call that, but a lot of, in the ring, looking into the crowd, speaking to people, smiling at people outside the crowd, and paying for it as well. There were times when he looked out in the crowd and he got clipped off the strength of it. Like, he didn't get hurt, but this is where the criticism is going to come from. It's his maturity. They say if the experience was there with Boots, if he brought the experience to the game like Bud had, he would have known not to do those things, right? I don't know if I necessarily feel it's that serious, but I will say it's fair and reasonable to argue that if he fought David Avanesyan, if he fights Terrence Crawford the way he fought David Avanesyan, what would the results be? It's fair to say that, right? I mean, the other thing is going to be that would he fight Bud the way he fought David Avanesyan, right? Would he do that? I would like to say no. I would like to say I don't think he would do that. But can we for sure say that? Because when you look at Boots' record, he doesn't have a record of really fighting safe. He has a record of fighting kind of the way he fought there. Not as far as getting hit as much, but horsing around, playing around. That Matrix shot he did on Roma Villa. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's known to entertain the crowd and do those type of things. Will he become more reserved and disciplined if he jumps into the ring with Terrence Crawford?
Yeah.
And what is that going to look like? Like, does he think he needs to? Like, is Boots just Boots at the end of the day? He's just going to do Boots, or is he really treating every fight in a unique way? And I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I mean, like I said, he stated that he needed a top opponent. He's saying that he's playing with his food. He's been multiple times. He said this. He needs an Earl Spence. He needs a Bud Crawford. That's only going to help him showcase his game. He said he's not being challenged. Well, You could tell me that fight last week did look like a challenge, and I think, and I give credit to Bud, because I think even myself and a lot of opponents were discrediting David Avanesyan as just a cherry pick 2 years ago, and when we seen David Avanesyan putting his hands on Bud in that fight, even though Bud had a great plan, just like Boots, you know what I mean? They weren't clean like crushing punches, but he stuck a few in. We were under the impression that Bud lost a step. Right now, the tables have turned, because now we've seen a guy that's also been out the ring for almost a year fight the same opponent, same pressure, and seeing the same slip ups and things of that nature, where we're saying, this dude's a valuable opponent. And Bud didn't put out there C-class fighter, right? See, that's where everybody got it twisted, because he wasn't talking about Boots being world class.
Right.
He was talking about David Avanesyan because nobody respected him, and then they gave him the title world class fighter after the fight. But everyone was sitting there thinking that it was talking about Boots. No, he was talking about David Avanesyan, because they was discrediting, all the fan base was discrediting his ability when he fought David Avanesyan and saying that he took a cherry pick. And now they see it for what it is, and you got to respect that man for taking that fight also on his layoff for a year or over a year. So, absolutely, man. Listen, we got to give him credit for both of them for how they handled it, and like I said, don't sleep on the opponents, man. Boots did all right. I just hope he don't handle to your question. I hope when he fights Earl Spence, which I hear they're trying to make that happen before the Bud fight. I hear they're trying to make that happen. You know what I mean? Like, they'll take it a little bit more seriously. You have to go into his pockets and reach. You know what I mean? Reach for the bag, because if you don't reach for that bag, the tricks, then you're gonna be sitting there playing around with his food. He's gonna catch the wrong one. They're gonna catch him. You know what I mean? And you can't do that, I don't think, with the elite opponents at 154 or 147. Even though I don't see anybody at 147, but maybe Brian Norman, because he's a dog fight. Clipping Boots.
Yeah, I agree with you, Roscoe, by the way. We're going to talk about that as well, right? We're definitely going to jump into that conversation as well.
Bruce, Ross Clark, salute.
Right. So, yeah, salute Bruce Gas for sure. Yeah, I think, everything is fair. It's fair it's part of the game. And a lot of people take it a little personally, but I don't think there's nothing to take personal. I think it's boxing at the end of the day. Boots had a great performance. It was a showcase performance that he put out there from after over a year, or just you're pretty much over a year, or you could say about a year hiatus of being outside the game, dealing with all the obstacles he dealt with getting up to this point, between his manager dying and Cameron Duncan, between the company that was the company representing him in Showtime, going away, and just inactivity, right? Just not being able to get fights put together. There were points where they were trying to get fights put together, but they were just falling through. Even up to this fight was a last minute change, right? Because Cody Crowley pulled himself out of the fight, or his medical condition or situation got him out of the fight. So when you take all that into consideration, Boots did a good job. But it's also fair to, if you're going to rate his last, like you say, Ray, you say, you're only good as your last fight. Well, this is his last fight. And if you're going to look at this fight that he had, taking into consideration all the things that we just said, does that Boots that we saw in the ring beat Bud? We don't know. You know what I mean? You can argue and say no. And maybe you guys, for the people who feel like Bud just ain't as good as Boots, maybe they say yes. You know what I mean? But what is Boots?
Supporter of boxing, salute.
Yeah. What does Boots at this point do at this point is a better question, because what happened in the past already happened, right? What's already been done is done. He's won the fight. He broke up David Avanesyan. He stopped him. What's the next move for Boots? You know what I mean? What's the next move? What makes most sense for Boots? Because in the press conference, the post press conference, Bozy said, "Listen, we're not studying Bud Crawford. We're not studying him. If he wants to send a contract, we'll fight him. But what we're doing is our work is at 147. He wants to become undisputed at 147." Jaron pretty much said send the paperwork as well. So, Jaron's pretty much following and co-signing his father's play on it. Eddie Hearn and Turki Al-Sheikh has made it clear. Turki definitely has made it clear that he wants to see Boots fight Bud. That's what he wants to do. Reached out to Bud, from what I understand, and kind of trying to get him on the same page. What does Boots do to get a Bud fight? Oh, Pop Shop, I like that. Catch you tripping. He stays in shape and get ready for Tim Tszyu. Pop Shot said Tim. So, okay, so are we in agreement, chat? Are we in agreement that if Boots wants to fight Bud Crawford, that he needs to go to 154?
I think so.
Are we in agreement? Are we done with the whole idea of forcing Bud to come down to 147?
Catch weight or 154.
It has to happen at catch weight, or really 154, not even a catch weight, 154. Right, because Boots can make it comfortably, and there's jewelry up there for him. You know what I'm saying? But now, Bud Crawford has an agenda as well, right? He wants to become undisputed in a third weight class. He wants to become a 4-weight class champion, right? Salute, She's in the building. Salute. Exactly. She's 154. So, putting that into consideration, does Boots go and get right into a fight with Bud? Or if Boots really wants to, at this point, in my opinion, let me not even ask a question. Let me be a little more upfront with it. If Boots wants to fight Bud, he has to get in the way. He can't, there's no more, he has to recognize the position that he's in. I want Boots to slow walk while being active. Exactly. He's saying, but I want Boots to slow walk while being active. He doesn't get right up in there. If Boots wants to fight Bud, in my opinion, he needs to make a move to 154. Challenge for a mandatory, challenge for a title, try to get into an IBF title shot, you know what I'm saying, up there, or fight one of the mandatories, beat a mandatory, beat Virgil Ortiz, beat Tim Tszyu, beat somebody in there, put yourself in a position to get a belt. You get a belt, you get in the way now. That's what he has to do. He has to get in the way of Terrence Crawford's mission, of what Terrence Crawford wants to do. Why can't Boots make his legacy at 147 at 47? Ross Scott, he definitely can. But if the conversation of Terrence Crawford is going to be in there, this is the way to do it. So, if he doesn't want to fight Terrence Crawford, because that's a big question as well. Does he really want to fight Terrence Crawford at this point?
Yeah, he does.
Do you think he wants to fight Terrence?
I do, and I'm gonna just put something else into your head real quick, if you don't mind. What the statements that's been said too. Let's not forget, Boots did not. I think he changed his mind on undisputed. I think he's using the word unify. His dad's still saying undisputed, and I think Eddie Hearn has said unify at 147. I think they're giving it a rest at that weight, because they know 154 is in their scopes, and they know they're gonna have to make the play to get up there to make the big fights. They know there's no big fights at 147 for them. And if there is, it better be somebody quick and strong enough to take on Boots. Right now, I don't see anybody in that division that can take on Boots. So I think the play is to unify one of the belts, maybe two, and then move on up and just get out of there. As far as Stanionis, I don't even know if Stanionis is moving forward. We still got to put Bud past his fight. We got to get him past his fight. You know what I mean? He has to win his fight in front of him, which is a tough fight. Once that happens, yeah, we can see something happening with them. And I don't think Boots, because actually I seen the phone call. I don't know if it was Turkey or if it was Bud, but he said that's him send the contract. I believe it was Turkey. Send the contract. Yeah, let's do it. Because it didn't sound like Bud, but it could have been Bud. I'm not sure. If anybody can clarify that, please do. But Eddie was holding the phone. It's like, is that him? He's like, yeah, send the contract. Yeah, let's do it. Sounded like he was talking to Bud, but then he also could have been talking to Turkey. Like I said, we don't know. That's behind the scenes. It will be revealed later, of course. He's been answering all the questions all the right way. You know what I mean? He's been putting it out there the right way. It just doesn't seem like you said, like Bozy is stuck with this 147 accomplishment thing. And I think as long as his coach has to be on the same page with his fighter, I think they need to sit down, get some mindset right, find out what they want to do, and put a plan together that's going to work. Because you see where the troubles are at 147, and that you were stalled out for almost a year, and you had to fight once a year for like almost, or once every 9 months for the last 3 years. So right there, saying that it's inactivity, which plays a big part. And you're moving to 154, like I was mentioning to you guys last week. 154 is a great division for him because he's not going to have these people that's going to run from him, and they're going to fight him. He's going to get the opportunity to showcase, and he's going to have stronger fighters with just as much power as him. So it puts him in a great spot for these type of fights, and he can take on a couple of fights before he gets to Bud, unless they want to make that fight happen right away, which I don't think it should be. I think he should be like everybody else and take a stepping stone, unless he goes up there and gets the IBF and then they try to unify. But other than that, I just think that their paths meet, 2 fights in the 154 and let it happen.
Yeah. Look, and Cheese, as far as Madrimov, yeah, man, I've been catching up on some of his highlights, and I'll be honest with you, he's like a Triple G 2.0. I'm be honest.
Like him, fight like him, act like him.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll be honest with you, Madrimov is a big dude, man. He got big legs, you know what I'm saying? He's a big 154 pounder. Like he's really, I think he's going to be a way more challenging fight for Bud than people will want to take consideration of, or could be at least. Bud could just run through him as well. You know what I mean? Bud said it before. He don't know how hard how hard of a fight he's going to have in front of him until he gets in the ring with the guy, right? Sometimes the hardest fights are the ones that look hard be the easiest fights, and the one that look like they're going to be easy be the hardest fights. You know what I mean? So this is going to be a big fight. He's a corner star Triple G. I mean, however you want to look at it, Ross Scott, if I was going to compare him to anybody, that's who I would compare him to. As far as if I was to give somebody like Cheese an idea of how to look at Madrimov, that's who I'd compare him to. But yeah, excuse me, I'm so tired. I've been to work all day. I've been up since 4:30 this morning, bro, and I'm here with you guys right now. So bear with me. The Mondays ain't never gonna look like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because the Mondays be the long, long day for me. Trust me, extra long. But pause. but Jaron is a good question. Going back to what Roscott said, does he need to go and make his legacy up there with Terrence Bud Crawford? I don't think he needs to. But look, at the same time, I think we can argue to say that Boots never beat nobody at 147 for his belt. And I'm not trying to take no credit away from Boots. Really, I'm really not trying to take any credit away from him. I think the eye test says it all. Salute Lance Meyer. The eye test says it all with Boots for me. And even the way he performed this weekend with David Avanesyan said a lot. So it's not that he has so much to prove, but in essence, the way he's supposed to get the belt was supposed to be through fighting either Errol Spence or Terrence Bud Crawford. Now these guys have moved up to 154. These are the big money fights for him. These are the legacy fights because everybody believes he can beat these guys. So why not get into the conversation? Why not go to 154 and begin and make your legacy 154? And not just the weight division, but fighting these fights. You want to become a 2-weight class champion? Do it at 54 and do it at 60. But these guys are there. They're attainable. These fights are attainable. You got the financial backing from Turki Al-Sheikh. You got the demand from the boxing space. You've got a lot of money in front of you that you can make. You can fight Virgil. You can fight Tim Tszyu. You can fight Errol. You can fight Terrence Bud Crawford. You can even fight the likes of Brian Mendoza and Sebastian Fundora if you want. You can get a lot of fights at 154. Stay active and get a lot of money up there as well. Beating Terrence Crawford, who was the undisputed champion of your weight class division of 147, who in a way still is, because nobody's ever beat him for it, and he still holds 3 of the belts, right? He's in recession for one of them, right? He's in recess for the WBC belt, and he's been stripped of the IBF belt. But in essence, he's still regarded as the undisputed champion of that weight class division. If you were to beat Terrence Bud Crawford, it'd be like kind of like T.O. a little bit, where you'd be able to kind of like get undisputed accolades without having the undisputed belts. And while you're doing that, get undisputed at 154 because all these guys are holding belts, right? You got Errol Spence who's about to fight Sebastian Fundora for a WBC title. You got Terrence Crawford about to fight Madrimov for a WBA and a WBO title, right? The IBF title, I can't remember. It's a Russian or Ukrainian. I can't remember what his name is, who has that title, but that's an attainable title for Boots to get. He can get undisputed in that weight class as well. So does he have to? No, he doesn't have to. But would it be a legacy fight as well as the most money he's ever made? More than likely, yes. And that's something to take in consideration. And if Boots and the fan base wants to see this fight happen, there is a path to make this happen. The question is whether or not Boots or Mosley will pull the trigger.
And I just want to touch on this. So if you really want to break this down, can I break this down in the sense that some people may understand? If you guys ever watch Dragon Ball Z, this is how I'm going to break it down. You got Earl Spence as your Vegeta, and right now Goku is Bud Crawford. And the problem is our guy Boots is Cell. You know what I mean? He developed all these skills. He honed all the energy. He all that dude. And he's the guy that they got to beat. He's that guy at the end of Dragon Ball that's just the ultimate warrior. And we want to see the collision, but these guys got to meet at the right time. It can't just be put out there. You know what I mean? They know how they had to go train in the tower and in the back room or whatever. The time, y'all know. I don't know. But I'm saying that's what we got to see, and that's just me comparing it to the young people that's in here that may not know what we trying to really get at. You know what I mean? This is to us. This is really truly the division of boxing that we grew up with. These are the combatants. I think somebody touched on it earlier with me. Might have been you, Clay. That this is really like the real kings of boxing right now. The four kings.
Right.
Because you got three of them right there, and they all sitting around waiting for their time to get at each other, and eventually it's going to happen. And when it does, we're going to get fireworks and we're going to get great content. So at the end of the day, we really can't look past none of this. We just got to accept it for what it is and be 100 with it. And that's what's going to happen. That's how we're going to see it coming down.
Yeah. It's a potential to be a real four kings at 154. It's a potential to be a big series of fights. But I agree with you, Ross Cott. Listen, and I've said that before as well. My question is, it's been the question, does Boots want this fight? I know Bud doesn't care about it. Bud doesn't need the fight. He doesn't care. He's ready to move forward. He wants Canelo, if anything. He doesn't want Boots. But if Boots wants to fight, there's a way for it to happen. And the way to make it happen is to get in the way, right? You got to get in the way. The same conversation can go with Teofimo. Teofimo wants Terrence Crawford. I don't see a way. I see more of a way for Boots than Teo. But I'll tell you one thing, Teo, in my opinion, shouldn't be thinking about fighting no Bud Crawford without fighting Boots. He wants to go up there and fight Brian Norman to get that WBO title. Well, all right, go fight Brian Norman. But at the same time, once you become a WBO champion, unify with Boots. You know what I mean? Become a unified champion, fight Boots. And then we can talk about what we can start to think about what that would look like to have you in the ring with Terrence Bud Crawford, right? Or maybe even you might take an opportunity to take that WBO title. And if you get that WBO title from Brian Norman, maybe you might want to activate a mandatory at 154 to fight Crawford at that point, because Crawford will have a WBO title. So I don't know if that's maybe you think that might be his mission, what he's thinking he's doing to try to get to Terrence. I don't know, right? But you got to get in the way. To make these fights happen out here, you got to get in the way. Ain't no freebies. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Keyshawn. Keyshawn's calling Tank's name out. Well, all right. Well, you got to get in the way. If you don't get in the way, how you going to get the fight? You can't just expect. He's not just going to. You got to get in the way. Everybody has a mission, especially when you're dealing with these A-sides. You got to figure out what it is that they want and get in the way of that to get the fight with them. If you can get in the way of that and become part of that conversation, then we can all talk about it in a more realistic way. Man, we got a lot going on in the chat right now. I haven't been reading. Let's see what's going on, man. I missed so much. Let's see. Let's back up a little bit. Ross Scott said the issue is only us fans is talking of the Crawford fight. Crawford doesn't have his eyes on Boots at all. Only us fans want it, but Crawford doesn't. You're right, Ross. Crawford doesn't want that fight the same way Canelo doesn't want the Crawford fight. But if Crawford wants a Canelo fight, you see what Crawford's doing. He's trying to get in the way, right? He's trying to get in the way. He's calling out for the fight. He's like, all right, well, you think I'm too small? I'm going to go to 154. I'm going to start becoming undisputed there. Then we'll see what he does after that. He might make a move at 160 or fight somebody in 168. Who knows? Right. You know, but he knows he has to get in the way.
Right.
You know?
He's trying to express that. And my bad, I had myself on mute. So I was trying to answer the question about Tio, and I was like, why didn't you let me talk?
Well, I didn't
hear you. No, it's all right. It's all right. I was on mute. Yeah, you're 100% right, man. Like, you gotta get in the way. You gotta create the road bump, bro. Or what is a speed bump? You gotta create the speed bump, slow him down. Or you gotta, you know what I mean? If you don't create that speed bump, it's just gonna happen. You're gonna see the same thing all day. You're just gonna see yourself running in circles trying to chase these people. On the other side of the argument, though, I do want to say I don't think Bud I don't think he's like it shows interest. I think he says if the fight's there, I'll take it. You know what I mean? I don't think I think Roscoe is 100%. He hasn't really shown like, listen, I need to fight this guy to keep my legacy. I already made my legacy. This guy needs to make his legacy, so he's got to fight me. If the money's right, time is right, and everything's right, let's get it done. You know what I mean? As Judge Mill Lane said, let's get it on. Other than that, bro, leave me alone. Keep my name out your mouth. I'm going to move the way I move. You move the way you move. And in due time, we'll have everything work out.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you, Ross Scott. 154 doesn't make the argument. 154 is his trajectory. It's him gaining the weight in a healthy way, right? He's going up to 154. He's going to get some titles up there. If he still wants Canelo, though, if Terrence Crawford wants Canelo, he has to make moves to put himself in position to fight against Canelo. Right. He has to do that. And I think he understands that. We'll see what he does after this Madrimov fight. We'll see what the next step is for him. But generally speaking, he's working in that direction. He can't. So anybody who wants to fight Crawford has to get in the way of that, has to get inside that conversation, has to get in the way of Crawford's journey. If right now Crawford wants to become undisputed at 154, you want to fight Crawford, you need to get in the conversation of 154 undisputed, of being a champion at 154 to give Crawford a reason to fight you. Other than that, he's a machine moving in one direction right now. You know what I mean? Let me see here.
What is going on with Lance, bro?
I don't know. What's he going through?
Oh, no, he's arguing with somebody.
Okay. Well, you know how that goes.
Good, though. It's all good. Lance, keep cooking, bro. Whatever you're doing, keep cooking. I don't know.
Cooking, Lance.
I'm gonna leave that alone because I gotta go back and read everything to find out what y'all discussing. And I know it's Dragon Ball Z, but it's funny.
Okay. I have no idea. I was completely out the room. Let me see here what we got here. Andrew Charles, there's a difference between not wanting to fight a guy and not wanting to fight because you're in a new division going for a third undisputed. 100%, Andrew. Yeah, I mean when we say when we say Terrence doesn't want to fight Boots, we're not saying he doesn't want to fight him like he's scared of him or you know what I mean. No, 100% what you're saying, Andrew. He has other things to go down. Let's also remember this, very important. Bud only got about 4 more fights? 3?
I think 3 years.
Right. I don't know how many years, but let's say 3 to 4 more fights, right? Like 3 to 4 more fights that he probably plans on fighting. So he's going to be selective. He's not going to sit here and get on no 7-10 fight campaign where he's fighting everybody that y'all want to see him fight, right? Same thing with Tank. Tank is like, yo, dude, I got 6 fights left. That's what's happening for me, and then I'm moving on to my next chapter in my life. So there's a limited amount of space, a limited amount of fights. So if you're trying to get a fight with Tank, you need to get into Tank's conversation. You need to get into what Tank trying to get put together and get in the way of that. You know, shout out to Keyshawn. Keyshawn saying Tank's name. I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? He's a boxer, he's a fighter. I have no problem with that. But what Tank gonna get out of it?
Right.
You gotta get in Tank's way. If Tank wants to be undisputed, then go grab one of them belts. You know what I mean? Go beat up Frank Martin. Somebody go share a common opponent with Tank. Go knock Frank Martin out now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go get into title contention, get that WBO title. Now you're in front of Tank's eyes as far as, damn, I'm trying to be undisputed, and this kid has one of the belts. now the conversation becomes a lot more legitimate. Becomes a lot more tangible at that point to see. We all can reason and see, okay, now this makes sense. But until you do something like that, why should he fight you, bro? You're a nobody. You've done nothing to impress him, and him beating you isn't going to have everybody talking about, oh, you remember when he fought Keyshawn Davis? What a legacy fight. That's not a legacy fight for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Watched the Boo saga like a month ago. Let's see, the Boo. Okay.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z comments, bro. I just started something. I just sparked something over here. That's what's up, though.
If I say Bud needs to drop them belts, yeah, he does. He will, though. He will.
As soon as he takes a fight, all them belts are getting relinquished. As soon as he takes that fight, they're going.
No doubt, Keji. That I can see that. You offer him $50 million for sure. Why wouldn't he take that fight then? You never know. Turkey might feel that way.
I'll fight Bud if he took $50 million and gave me a piece of that pie.
Listen, you know what I mean?
I ain't lying. And I'll let him blow up to, I ain't going to tell you how much I weigh, but I'll let him blow up to over pause, you know what I mean, to 200.
Yeah.
No diddy.
You know, these all topics that, you know, this is how this game goes. You know what I mean? You got to get in the way if you want to get in these fights. You know what I mean? What'd you think about the Raymond Muratalla fight with like, you know what I mean? Obviously we still got to talk about Jalil, but the Raymond Muratalla fight, like, I feel like a couple of fighters kind of got exposed a little bit. Just kind of like this year, fighters have been exposed. Like fighters we thought were like on a certain level are kind of proving that they're not necessarily at that level. Am I tripping?
So you're not tripping because it looks that way. And I'm just going to say this, Clay. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. It's my thoughts on it. I think the last two fights we see with Raymond Muratalla were tough fights. I think he's showing some laziness though. I don't think it's that they're tough opponents. I just think he's being lazy. I think he's not preparing like he should be preparing. He's not taking these fighters seriously that he's fighting because he wants some action. He wants to show that he can put on the performance, but he's not fighting the people like he should be fighting. Like getting them out of there. I think he did enough of that to show that he is that fighter. Because he took on a couple of good fighters that were had good records and stuff that weren't pushovers. And he got out of there. But his last couple of fights, he just looked like he's been like he not himself. Like you know what I mean? Like he just looked like he's been out there, like just playing, not even playing. Like just bro, I ain't taking this seriously. I'm just coming here to work, or like something mentally's wrong with him. Either way, you know what I mean? Something outside of boxing. It just don't seem like him. Because we had known him to be exposed the fighter across from him, apply the pressure, and punch these dudes into oblivion. It could be that because the last guy was a slick fighter. This is why I say this because I was evaluating and say, well, maybe it's the styles of fights. You know what I mean? Somebody slowing him down and creating an obstacle, and he's showing adversity by continuing to fight, but he's just not able to put it together until late and figure it out. But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like his whole mindset is just out of whack with boxing, and that's me being honest. I think he's felt like maybe he doesn't owe Bob anything. Maybe he felt that he was owed a title shot. He should have got that fight with Barancek instead of Navarrete. Maybe he thought, you know what I mean, he should have been fighting Shakur because he's been trying to get that fight, and he put his name in the hat. And what did they do? They told him no because they didn't want to get Shakur that fight because they figured it was too risky for him at the WBC level. I'm sorry, him leaving the rankings to give Shakur that type of payday. So it could be a lot of things that's playing into this Raymond Muratalla and what's going on. I know, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I know Bob said he wants a Mexican champion. The proof in the pudding is he moved Navarrete up for the WBO championship. So he definitely wants that. I know we're going to get into who we think should be fighting Barancek. I think it's going to be Muratalla over Keyshawn.
Yeah,
over Keyshawn, because I think not because of the rankings, just because he wants that champion. He wants that guy in the ring to fight him and hold that title and give a run because he wants a Mexican champion in his squad to run around and try to collect these belts, which he's capable of doing. He shows a great poise in boxing, and he shows a great style where he could beat everybody if he pulls the game out right. Pause. But if he comes in there and he fights and he wins, he can do that. The thing is, he hasn't been showing that to us. Another thing I would like to see him do is maybe knock Keyshawn off the chessboard. You know what I mean? If you can't knock him off the chessboard, then guess what? and there's a whole nother conversation to have.
Right. Man, I agree with you, man. I think Raymond Muratalla looked more dominant a couple months ago, before his last fight. I think his last 2 fights kind of exposed him to be an average fighter. He's really like a Mario Barrios, type of boxer. And to say it even more frank, a very beatable opponent. You know what I mean? He's not a dominant opponent like that. I could definitely see him and Keyshawn Davis going at it. You know what I mean? One time. And I would see Keyshawn coming out on top, in that fight. And I think you put Keyshawn in position to get a title shot, to fight a winner between a Dennis Berinchek and a Mark Chamberlain or whatever have you. I think the road to undisputed becomes a very interesting look, to see those guys as champions in the division, to see Keyshawn Davis holding a WBO title, to see Tank Unified holding an IBO and a WBA title, and to see Shakur fight a William Zepeda and the winner between them holding that WBC title. I think that makes 135 and the road to undisputed super interesting. I like the way it's looking like it's finna turn out. I mean, I know you heard about the WBC sanctioning and opening up that mandatory for Zepeda and Shakur, basically ordering for the fight to happen. Roscoe said Shakur will never become undisputed at 135 or 140. Maybe, I don't know, but I say the conversation gets very interesting when you put all those guys in there. You know what I mean? You put all those guys in that conversation, it becomes very interesting. What they're saying.
Cheese, you crazy, dog.
Yeah, Cheese knows. Talk about it, Cheese, right? I'm on the same page as you. I happen to think that's a great fight. I know people are, there's people, they don't want to, they feel like he hasn't earned it, this and that. Well, look, man, if he gets a WBO title and Tank wants to become undisputed, Keyshawn has earned his right to be in the ring with Tank. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no doubt, Pop Shop. You down with that Shakur Stevens William Zepeda fight, right?
I think he's saying overall, he just want to see him just clear the division out. But I agree with that too. You know what I mean? I think it'd be good for the sport.
100%.
I listen. I'm not mad at Keyshawn. I see Top Rank testing him out. I think in the next fight, I think what they can do is again they're trying to clear out the chessboard. They're trying to move all the pieces off the board. De Los Santos is still there, and he's still a high quality opponent for either Muratalla or Keyshawn Davis. He's going to have to fight one of them because he's got to get in line, and they have to make this fight unless he finds some. I only see many top ranked fighters in the top 10 that'll make that fight. Maybe Gustavo Lemos is top ranked, right?
Yeah. So, Rob Scott, Keyshawn may not be as good as Shakur. Styles make fights. Keyshawn may not be as good as Shakur is good. You know what I mean? Keyshawn may not be.
The approach is different.
Keyshawn may not be as good as Shakur in what Shakur does, but there might be things that I think it's reasonable to argue that Keyshawn is good in certain areas that Shakur ain't good in. You know what I mean? Or ain't as good as Keyshawn in. Keyshawn has his niche. He has his
he showed me something
that he does. You know what I mean?
He definitely showed me something. Keyshawn showed me something, bro. I ain't gonna front. He definitely showed that he ain't afraid to stay in there, even though he, you know what I mean, in exchange, he showed the little slickness in his defense to evade the big punches. He showed the counter ability. Like, yeah, I mean, I didn't see much footwork with him, but as far as him like being a really good fighter, he shows some good character play.
I mean,
Keyshawn. So
who has the more likely chance of hurting? Does Keyshawn have a higher chance of hurting Shakur, or does Shakur have a higher chance of hurting Keyshawn?
So that's a tough question because this is how I see it playing out. I know they spar each other a million times, and I think the upper hand does go to Shakur because I think Shakur has been teaching him more than Keyshawn interacting and being respectful to Shakur. I think what happens is if that fight does happen, I think Shakur puts a little more experience in the ring, and I think he tries to take advantage of Keyshawn's abilities of what he knows. You know what? He did the same thing with Jamel Herring. If you guys understand what I'm talking about, type understand for real. Shout out to Champ Side.
Shout out to Champ Side for sure.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Because I seen that I seen when Shakur was beating up Jamel Herring because he sparred with him so many times and he knew his tweaks and his abilities, and that's what he does. And Keyshawn's been a very active sparring partner for Shakur. I don't know if you know that, but they know each other very well. So it'd be a difficult fight, and I think that's a reason why in the back of maybe Keyshawn's head, that's why they don't even want to compete. But Shakur looked like he the type he'll just take the fight. Keyshawn looked like he's trying to show respect to his big brother and be like, "Yo, look, that's my big brother. I'm gonna show him some respect." So it's a little weird. But I think if Shakur hits him enough times or hard enough, Keyshawn will snap out of it and try to go for the jugular. So knock his block off. That's my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think there's definitely a big brother, little brother relationship there. But like I said, Keyshawn just brings certain intangibles to the ring that same way Shakur brings those intangibles. He brings that leverage of having that mental, maybe that mental kind of like leverage over Keyshawn. Keyshawn also brings a lot of explosive power. He also in his own right has great defense. He doesn't just get hit with everything. He's a great counter puncher. He has great feet. He moves around very well. I mean, if you guys didn't get that from the Medueno fight, he was really just putting on a clinic and just moving around, blocking shots, staying inside the space, give himself the opportunities to capitalize, hit Medueno with some real devastating shots. Does Keyshawn have the ability to cut the ring off on Shakur? Does he have the ability to, the experience that he has sparring Shakur? Is he able to bring that into the ring and turn that into a situation where Shakur is having a difficulty dealing with Keyshawn? All types of things can happen.
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good point, Clay. Good point.
Because Keyshawn learning too.
Right.
As he's fighting and he's sparring Shakur, he's learning Shakur too. He's learning certain things that Shakur likes to do. He's finding little weak spots, things that maybe he didn't take advantage of as openly as he would in a competitive fight with 8-ounce gloves on. You don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this though, Keyshawn needs to accept the fact that he needs to shake that whole big brother shit though.
Yep.
He needs to understand that him and Shakur, if Shakur's at 135, Shakur can get it. He needs to understand that.
Right.
Because I promise you, Shakur knows he can get it. Shakur knows, like, as far as Shakur is concerned, Keyshawn can get it. So sitting there being all brotherly, that ain't your brother, bro. Not in real life. You got brothers. Remember the businessmen, the three that you throw up? That's not including Shakur. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Let's see here. There's so much going on in this chat, bro. It's crazy. Y'all really live.
They having a ball. Dragon Ball Z.
It's a really lit chat.
Lance Meyer that found his new best friend with Charles Edward Chewy. Salute. For real.
Lance,
I like that. Listen, Rod Clot and Lance is building. Yo, Pop Shop. Everybody building the chat, man. We gotta love our chat for real. 100%.
Ross Scott said Keyshawn got a lot more learning to do. 100%. But that learning comes from in the ring, man. Yeah, it comes from what's happening in the gym, the sparring, but also comes with the fights. So Keyshawn is in position. You know what I mean? He's 11-0. I was talking about it with Ray earlier today. You know what I mean? But by the time he gets to a belt and he becomes a champion, he's a champion, man. With the experience he has. And understand he's a young champion. And he also has a future going to 147, 140, 147, probably going to cap out like 147. You know what I mean? So this is the beginning. This is 135. You don't got to be the 100% complete best fighter in the world to become a champion at 135. You know what I mean? He can be where he's at and get there. And by the time he gets to 147, he can evolve into something even better. More than likely will evolve into something better. Keyshawn should fight Abdullah Mason. Forget the buildup. Nah. I mean, that sounds like a good fight.
That'd be a good fight, but I think Keyshawn wins at this point. I'm being honest.
But also, why risk it?
Right, but I just think your rising star and your eye test says that Abdullah is that guy, and being that they're on the same They're not going to do that no time soon. Let's put it that way. That won't happen until Abdullah starts asking for bigger fights. And I think he'll get to that point soon where we'll see that. But these guys are going to be moving to 140 by the time he gets there. And you might meet him all at 140 and just clean house. We don't even know. Abdullah Mason is he's a beast, bro. Mm-hmm. He's going to be definitely tearing up the divisions when he gets there.
Yeah. Abdullah's on his mission. Abdullah's definitely like damn near a generation apart, almost from all this conversation we having, because he got a journey ahead of him. He's not going to be in this conversation until like late next year. You know what I mean? By the time he gets in the conversation, Keyshawn already have earned himself, you know what I'm saying, a title fight, and maybe a champion already. So coming down to fight, you know, Abdullah Mason is going to be a lot. I actually think Mark Chamberlain would beat Keyshawn right now. Wow. I think it'd be a great fight, Dekechi. I think it'd be a great fight. I'll admit you in that. I don't know if you would beat him. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm telling you guys, I think, you know, look, my eye test, in my opinion, Keyshawn is clear. I think the dude is a really talented fighter. I think he is.
I think he has showed some improvements and some edge to his game. His thought process has improved. Again, there is something missing though, Clay. When I watched the fight, I did watch it again. It's the lack of footwork. I think that footwork just needs a little bit more work. Other than that, as far as him with his hands and his ability to move his head off the line and counter, he showed me he can do it, bro. Like, he showed me he can definitely get in the ring and compete. But as far as the footwork goes, it seems like he's a little slow behind. He's like that's why I think Shakur give him trouble. Doesn't mean that he can't win. You know what I mean? Because he's only a counter away from getting punched, right? Shakur, or vice versa. So, but I think it does help.
Yeah. I mean, look, Keyshawn has spaces he needs to improve. That he will improve. You know what I mean? He's a project. He's a work in progress. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he got, in comparison to his counterparts at 135, in my opinion, he's up there. You know what I mean? He's not better than Tank. He's not better than Shakur.
He does admire his work a lot. Yeah, he does do that. That's why his feet don't move. I'm not trying to be funny.
We just watched Jaron do the same thing. Jaron likes to admire his work.
Oh yeah, he do. Yeah, that's playing. That's what I said. Playing with your food. Yeah, absolutely.
Roscott. Yeah, Roscott. Yup. Foster looks like he's heading that way.
I think he leaves too. Once he does that, I think he leaves the division. I mean, leaves Top Rank after this next fight.
Yeah, I would. If I was him, I'd leave. The only way Top Rank be able to keep me is if they give me my rematch with Conceição. You give me my rematch with him,
that you can get immediate title shot, which could happen. Oh, we ain't put that on the table, which can happen. They can put him in the title shot with Baranchyk. That's the only guy left, right?
Nah, but there's too many people who want Baranchyk.
Doesn't matter. He's also a champion, and you got to make it up to this guy. It could happen.
I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying more likely it won't.
Because when he moves to 135, he's going to be in the ranking. So it's not like he's going to be.
But he's not going to be. They're not going to put him over William Zepeda. They're not going to put him over Muratalla, and they're not going to put him over Keyshawn. They're going to put him behind. He's going to have to fight one of those. Okay. You can go up there and fight Keyshawn or fight Muratalla. Maybe they'll put him in that position.
Politics of boxing, Clay. It ain't about what should be done. It's about what will be done. That's the thing. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's about,
I don't see it happening. I don't see no reason for it to happen.
I'm just saying they could put him in contention right away if they wanted to.
There are bigger fighters. All those fighters are bigger fighters than O'Shaquie, bro. O'Shaquie is a 130 guy, but he's not going to come up there and all of a sudden it's going to become a priority over Keyshawn, over Zepeda, over Muratalla.
If they believe who they think he is, he could be, and that's
why they think he is.
They think he's a guy that can bring a lot to their stable. They
like what?
The Top Rank. They believe that he's a competitive guy. He can bring big fights. He can fight all the competition that you just named.
He's not a star though, right?
What do you mean? They can make him a star. That's the point.
But they can make Keyshawn a star too. They can make Keyshawn a star. They can make Muratalla a star. They can make. Right. You already got Wilson a star.
But they're already doing that.
All right, but they're not in need of him being a star. They're in need of him
being a journeyman.
Needing it, huh?
Who do you think they're gonna make him a journeyman? They stripped him to make him a journeyman.
I think he's gonna be a great dancing partner first and turn into a star from his dancing partner.
I think you're overlooking his abilities, bro. He's definitely capable of beating all them.
I'm not overlooking his abilities. I'm overlooking his star power over the people who are up there for them to take him and put him over the people that I'm talking about. He would have to have some sellability. He have to have some commercial appeal to be like, yo, we want to make him a star because he has the skills without a doubt. I don't know.
You know where that just came from? That recognition. We just robbed you at another division. We're going to move you up and put you in a fight. That's what I'm telling you. Robbing him. Who don't care?
Who cares?
I'm saying the fans care. Fans don't.
Nobody care what the fans think.
We complained about this the whole time. It's not just us; it's everywhere. They're still talking about it, man.
Jonathan Docker's a 1K. You talking about the 5K giveaway? And that's gonna be tomorrow. I'm too tired, and I didn't set nothing up for that, bro. I told you already. I done came from work. You know what I'm saying? Threw on a t-shirt, and I'm in front of the shop. I didn't even set up tomorrow.
At the end of the day, yeah, for real. Shout out for that 5K. But listen, no, you right. In a way, and I'm right too.
I'm saying
I got you. No, my bad. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm saying that I believe that O'Shaquie Foster's role at 135 right now is to be a dance partner, a good dance partner. I don't think he's up there to be a champion yet. I think he gets to make himself somebody who's going to be a champion by the way he dances. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think they have the champions up there already that they want. They got the people up there who they want to make the headliners and the A-sides. They just don't have those Shaquie Fosters. They don't have the people to match those people up against without matching them up against, like, right now they got to match money up with money. You know what I'm trying to say? And they always like to match money against somebody who can take less money, right? Like, but also bring the competitive nature of the fight, like how Madueno did. Madueno was like a great dance partner. Like, he still is a great dance partner. Like, Madueno is the type of fighter you want to see what that fighter is. Put him in there with Madueno. Put him in there with O'Shaquie Foster. You know what I'm saying? Put him in there with Steve Claggett. Put him in there. You know what I'm saying? Put him in there. You got those fighters that are dance partners that are there for that. Now, fighters work their way out of that category into the upper echelon by how they perform in those fights. O'Shaquie Foster doesn't rub me the way, like, to say, like, you know what? He's a star, man. Put him in the main. I don't see that in him. Okay. The way they disrespected him at 130 by taking his title that way shows me that they don't see him that way. If they respected him that way, they would allow him to unify with Navarrete and make a big, huge fight. They'd be like, nah, he's too big for that. But they played him.
Because they see money in a different way. They want to move him up. There's a combination of things there.
They'd rather put money on Conceição because Conceição brings a country with him. You already see how the powers that be think over there. They looked at Conceição and said, you know what? Brazil really support this dude. Brazil's starting to get this big fan base of boxing. I'd rather put Conceição against Navarrete. So they took O'Shaquie Foster's win away from him in his belt. They took it away from him. You know what I'm saying? They took it away from him because he wasn't commercial enough. So why would they take it away from him there at 130, then bring him to 135 and all of a sudden invest in him like he a star?
Because Clay, as little as it may be known, the kid is a star. The kid is somebody. He has an image. He may not be.
Foster's a star?
I don't think I think he's star enough. I think once he got into, first of all, the division's not even a big division for us to really call out if he's a star or not in that division. He was a great champion, I think, at 130, and I think he could have probably beat the other champions.
They brought Emmanuel Navarrete up from that division to give him a shot to become a champion at 135 because they felt like Navarrete's a star, right? They know they see that he pulls a lot of people. That's a star in the division. They took Conceição and they made him a champion because they're like, yo, he has a country behind him. And they want to see him and Navarrete go at it. They took away this man's title, bro. They took it away. They didn't put him in a hard fight and he lost. They took it out.
Okay.
Yo, am I cheese? I'm just keeping it real.
I think you're right, and I'm not telling you. And I know all these things happen. I'm just saying I think to pay him back or to give him some type of favor for him accepting this, because he's going. Like I said, he might not even fight for them. He might be like, "Yo, I'm not doing nothing for y'all no more. Release me in my contract. It's one fight. Get me out of here." But for them to say, you know what, we're not giving you the rematch. We're not giving you the rematch. But here's what we'll do. We'll put you in a fight with Muratalla. We'll put you with Keyshawn Davis. You win, you get a title shot. They can do that. Or they can say, you know what? Go up there and beat this guy that Navarrete didn't beat. Then we'll talk. We'll renew your contract. We'll do this. We'll pay you good money, and you can go fight for unification. Tank will be a good fight for you. You'll make big money with that. There's a lot of things they can do. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I see the same playing field as you. But what I'm saying is there's an option of them offering him something to stay and to make him feel like he's deserved a top rank.
I agree with you. I think they will offer him something. What I'm contesting is, will they put him over? Will they make him priority over Keyshawn Davis? Will they make him a priority over William Zepeda? Will they make him a priority over Raymond Muratalla when he brings the whole country?
Him and Keyshawn, I think, are at the same level.
Nah, Keyshawn is popping right now, man. He's popping right now. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? I put a little video out on Keyshawn, and that thing went. You know what I mean? A bunch of people came to see. People are on Keyshawn. Keyshawn was just on Mill City. Shout out to my brother Mill City, who was just on Mill City. Everybody's, you know what I mean? Gilly's on him. Like he's going to start popping up on these cigar talks and on these $1 million worth of games. And he's going to start doing this. He's going to start getting his following. Shakur Foster, people just feeling sorry for him right now. That's all it is. They feeling like he got robbed and like, damn, man, this ain't right. Boxing ain't right. But ain't nobody studying Shakur Foster like that. I mean, let's be honest. I don't want to take nothing away from this dude, but come on, bro. Nobody's studying Shakur like that, bro.
I don't know, man.
Who is? I mean, honestly.
I think that he's known enough. I don't see there's a separation, but I don't see. No, I'm saying I think there's a separation, but I think the separation is the division. I think if we see Keyshawn fighting at 130, he'll be in a sitting boat. We wouldn't see him talk about, oh, Keyshawn's just great. 130 is just a division that's just like a build-up division till you get to 135. He hasn't had a fight at 135. We don't know what he can do up there. He might develop some like, yo, I'm gonna KO everybody in front of me from now on. I ain't gonna play with him. Y'all not taking nothing else from me. You know what I mean? And exactly, he might have to do that. So he's gonna be like, yo, give me whoever you got up there. I don't care who it is, and I'm gonna go do what I gotta do.
Cheese, you said we talking two different things. I think we are, but I'd like you to try to articulate in here what the two different things we're talking about, right? Because I agree with you. I think Ray may think that I'm downplaying Shakur Foster's skills, right? And I'm not. I think he's a high level fighter. I think he's a great fighter. I'm downplaying his star power over the stars that are there at 135. Over who I think Keyshawn is an up and coming star. I think he's about to hit that point. I think William Zepeda, we don't need to even talk about that. I think Raymond Muratalla is Mexican. He brings that Mexican fan base. You know what I'm saying? The KG. Foster versus Muratalla next.
It could happen. I'm just saying. But
if Keyshawn doesn't take that fight, I can see that happen. If Keyshawn goes after that Frank Martin fight, which is what it seems like he's kind of looking to do, I think he's overly focusing on Tank to a degree. But it looks like he might be going after the Frank Martin fight. I could see that fight. I can see Muratalla and Shakur Foster fighting. I could see it.
I think Muratalla gets this Baranchek fight. I don't think they give him. I don't think they give Shakur somebody like Muratalla. They're trying to protect this guy. They're not going to give him somebody dangerous and a threat that can hurt him in the rankings right now. They want him to be that guy. So Keyshawn, I think he is chasing Frank. I think they give Keyshawn the Elwin De Los Santos fight or somebody else, just to, you know what I mean, just give him a fight to keep him busy so they can make that fight with Muratalla or send him after Shakur and put him on the list or Williams and Zepeda. I can see that happening. As far as anybody else, bro, I don't know. I don't know what they do for Shakur. I mean, do they bring a Mark Chamberlain over? Do they have him fight a Frank Martin? Which I don't think so. I think Frank Martin's bouncing anyway. I think he's going to 140. I'm being honest.
Mm.
Does he fight a Yoshino? Does he call out somebody that from the past? Like, there's so many.
Oshaki, if Oshaki has to fight Yoshino, Oshaki leaving Top Rank.
I agree, but
if you're talking about getting him a fight that's going to make him want to stay, they got to think about that. They can't throw no just anybody in him. Ryan Frazier said that's a good fight. I think Muratalla versus Baranchek is the next move, but it's all up to Zepeda. He's number one in all the sanctioning bodies. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But Zepeda, Ryan, you did you hear that the WBC just ordered for that mandatory fight between Zepeda and Shakur?
Right.
Which I think is one of the biggest fights that can be made at 135 right now.
I think that's one of the fastest mandatories I've ever seen thrown at somebody.
Thrown at who?
For the WBC. Shakur's been a part of two of the fastest mandatories that have been thrown out there. The one that they did with Devin, as soon as he moved up, they put him in the mandatory spot, and guess what? Now it's a year later, and he's in the mandatory spot for Zepeda. That's crazy.
He's a WBC champion.
I understand.
He's not getting thrown into a mandatory.
Look, Jay Pitton said it's too quick, bro. I'm telling you, this is a quick turnaround. Here we go with Benavidez. No, not to change topics. Benavidez has been but the mandatory for what? 3 years now. He's still waiting. Come on, bro. This is it's some games right there. But anyway, back to Oshaki. You know what I noticed that they don't have?
Cheese, exactly. That's what it is. Cheese put it in the right words. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I agree.
But you know what I don't see for Shockey, right? Which I can see happening. There's no interim champion at 135. And here's a belt.
Interim what? WBC?
Yeah. There's no champion for the interim title. They have a silver champion, but they have no interim. They can definitely put him in the mix of that, is what I think. By giving him that, and whoever wins out of Zepeda and Shakur, or whoever else, whatever, put him in position. That could be something. I'm just throwing it out there. They're going to try to reward this guy.
Why would they make an interim?
They already have one. There's no champion right now sitting there at the interim title, is what I'm saying. Salute, Chris Esperon.
Salute, Chris.
There's no interim champion. And what else? They're gonna try to make something up to this guy.
Right.
What they did to him. So I'm trying to think, what can they make up? What put him in a position somehow of something? They're going to do it. It's something they got to do to put him in position. Even if he's not the number one contender or the mandatory, they're going to put him in position somehow. I'm telling you.
I can see that. Yeah, I feel that. I can see that. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Oshaki Foster because he definitely got tried. He got tried, and everybody knows it. This is not, everybody can see he got tried. It was a blatant, crazy try. So it's just like, what are y'all going to do to correct this? What are y'all going to do to show in good faith? What does Top Rank have planned to right this crazy wrong? Right. It's a crazy wrong. What they did to Oshaki was just like, yeah, it definitely going to have the eyes are definitely on that situation, and people are definitely looking to see what Top Rank does next with Oshaki Foster because nobody I've talked to or watched or anything like that feels like Oshaki lost that fight by any means.
Barroso is in 140.
I forgot about Barroso, but Barroso is 140 though.
40, yeah, he's 140.
Yeah, but he is the interim WBA.
Not WBC.
No. WBO.
Yeah,
WBO. Right. WBO.
Barroso or Barbosa? Barroso is the WBA.
No. What belt did Rolly have? Rolly had a WBA?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So that's what he is. He's an interim WBA.
Right.
Yeah, we not even talking about Barroso.
Isn't that funny? He aging, bro. He playing the vampire. He's sitting in his casket.
Yeah, bro. Like I haven't even thought about Barroso. Like honestly, like damn, bro, what's going on with him? He definitely got a fight.
I think he mad because he just got skipped for the belt too, man.
Yeah, because Ryo just hopped up in there like sorry,
but he was also in the rankings too. Remember, he was in the rankings for Tank because he had won that Yeah, won that. Remember, he won the Eliminator. He won the title Eliminator with Chris Colbert.
No, you're talking about Rayo.
Yeah, Ryan won the title Eliminator. So when he moved up, they allowed that to happen due to sanctions. So
right, for sure.
Absolutely,
I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Crazy.
Yeah, this boxing is something else, ain't it?
Who
needs UFC and WWE when you got boxing like this right now?
Stop playing with UFC, bro. UFC's a shit, bro. Stop trying to hate.
I don't know, bro.
Stop hating on UFC, bro.
Look. The ratings of UFC, boxing.
I don't know if that's what's happening. I think you're making that up in your mind.
I see it, bro. I see it. I see the trend.
Let me see here. We got something upcoming August 3rd. Yeah, we do. We got a crazy card, and I'm be honest with you. I'm kind of saving that that for tomorrow's or Wednesday's show.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I was trying to keep not next week, but I'm definitely going to start talking about it this week for sure. That we building up to that card, but I kind of wanted to stay on this whole entire getting away thing because I think there's a lot of fighters right now who are trying to make some big fights, but they haven't made the moves yet that they're supposed to make yet to get into these fights. Like I said, I'll go down the list. It's Keyshawn, Teofimo, Jaron Ennis. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these fighters are trying to, even Terrence Crawford. They want to get into these power moves, but what he said, leave some meat on the bone. No Diddy, LOL. You know what I'm saying, Pop? You know what I mean? I think it's an interesting interesting topic right now because a lot of people are upset at fighters calling out fighters, you know what I mean? And they want to say, you know, I mean, this guy hasn't earned it, or, you know what I mean, who is he to say this? Who is he to say that? And I think it's all legitimate. I think all those points are legitimate arguments. I think they make sense. Yeah. They haven't. What are they willing to do to get these fights? Talking that talk is easy. It's easy to sit there and say, I want to fight whoever I want to fight. But what are you doing to prove that you want to make that move happen? What are you willing to change in your comfort zone to get into these fights? And your willingness to move into these uncomfortable spaces show how much you want the fight or not. You know, Teofimo, you talking about I'm fighting Terrence. One of the best ways to get there is go fight Boots. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it shows an act of faith that makes it believable. Because right now, nobody believes Teofimo. Everybody like, bro, you ain't trying to fight Terrence. You just capping. You just trying to clout chase. Nobody believes him. But you go and fight Boots and beat Boots, all of a sudden, oh damn, man, this dude might be serious. I might be able to. I'm trying to picture that fight, how that fight look now, because
fight Boots.
You beat Boots, it's crazy.
Let me get my Tevin Farmer going on.
Yeah, you're trying to look crazy, right? How do y'all feel about Khalil Cole versus Craig Richards? Nah, not Craig. Khalil Cole already said he's not interested in that. He said he wants Boatsy. I think Khalil Cole was a low key, like he was an up and coming fight of the night in that like an arguable fight of the night. Khalil Cole, like the way he ended that dude that he fought the Brett Richards or Brian Pitts, whatever his name is, I can't remember. I'm like, he had a great performance. He had a standout performance. I want to see Khalil Cole. I want to see more from Khalil Cole as a 175 pounder. I mean, how many people in that 175 pound weight class division right now that we got our eye on like that? He can definitely make a move up there. You think Hutchinson beats him? Yeah, I don't know if Hutchinson beats him. Hutchinson he looked all right when he just beat Craig Richards. You know what I mean? That's who Khalil Cole should be fighting is either Hutchinson or Boatsy, one of those guys, or the winner of those guys. That's who Khalil Cole should fight. Yeah. Salute Bradley. I didn't say salute to you earlier.
So did you hear the rumors? Just to throw this out there.
I love rumors. Please spread them with me.
Kubo Steph getting back in the ring next month?
Oh, yeah. He's been working. We should see him soon in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's going to fight against.
It's reported. Actually, I got it right here. Because I like having information. Information's everything. We're looking at Ronnie Rios.
Ronnie Rios?
Ronnie Rios.
Don't know.
It's supposed to be August 17th. That's the rumor. And on that card, the main event's going to be Caleb Plant with Trevor McCumbee. It's a weird fight. It must be one of those. Must be Amazon's first non-pay-per-view card.
Who, PBC?
Yeah.
Okay.
August 17th. Just throw that out.
Yeah, we'll check it out. You know we're gonna watch it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We definitely gonna watch it. So whether we like it or not, still fucking cheesy. Yikes. Still flicking cheesy. Lance Boyd could be coming in. The higher the carrot, the softer the teeth. Lance, you be saying some like unique food for thought stuff. Like I be trying to really, I be having to. After I read what you say, I gotta like think about where you going with it. I ain't gonna. Maybe I'm catching it late because I'm not catching everything you say. But generally speaking, when I look on that up in the chat and I see him say something, I'm like still flicking cheesy. Just a little bit. Just throw me off a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Trevor McCombie was on Pro Box TV. Man. Yeah, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of out of it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. What time is it? 11:30. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. 4:30, bro. Ain't take a nap, ain't even doze off.
Oh yeah, it's really gonna happen. But now they talking about. I got August 10th, August 17th, 2025. We'll see what happens.
You going for the schedule right now?
I got I'm going with Boxing Scene. Boxing Scene usually has it on point.
August 10th, you got the zone card coming up that's gonna have Virgil and Bahajuk is gonna be on that August 10th.
Yeah.
That's when that fight popping
right?
up.
Boxing Rec usually has it. Or not Boxing Rec. I'm sorry. Boxing Scene. They usually be on point with their schedule, so they got it. They got it with the 10th.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see how that turns out. What we got on Fulton is on that card too. I think. Yeah, that's what we're just saying. Yeah, supporter boxing for sure. That's what we're just saying for sure. I can't wait. I hope that Williams Zepeda and Shakur Stevens fight happens, bro. Straight up. I know people. I really want to see that fight. I want to see Shakur in a fight where I want to see Shakur tested. I want him to get an opportunity to prove, you know what I'm saying, who he is.
Wow. There's a lot of people who test him, though. It's a lot of people that can test him. Thing is, not everybody likes the opponent. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, who don't like
Zepeda? Who in here don't like Zepeda? And who in here don't like Zepeda versus Shakur?
I'm just messing with you.
Real quick in the chat, put a 1 up if we down for Shakur and Zepeda, or put a 2 up if you don't think that's a good fight. If y'all don't mind, please. If y'all don't mind. Against Billy?
Yeah.
I mean, look. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Derevchenko versus Billy. I'll be honest with you. It's hard for me not to give him a chance because I feel like if I say that, that's just being so. Because Derevchenko really ran it with Jaime Munguia. You know what I'm saying? But I think Billy's just going. Ultimately, I just see Billy stopping him. I think Billy's just him.
2 rounds.
But he's there. I think it's gonna be a great. Yeah, Ryan Frazier. I'm telling you, right? But I feel bad saying Derevchenko ain't got no chance. Like I feel horrible saying that because I see. You know what I mean?
But
I highly doubt he gets that win. Highly doubt it.
I agree. he stay away from that power, he got a chance. But if he
But he
get too
don't seem to
close,
like to do that. He seemed like he likes to trade a little bit.
that's what I'm saying. 2 rounds. Billy's on a mission, bro. He want that fight.
Why you hating, dog? He said 2, but it's a process.
There you go.
Whatever.
I understand. Look, you got to look at it from both perspectives, I guess. I mean, open-minded wise. If you're open-minded, you look at it both perspectives. I think, me personally, I think what Oscar said makes all the sense. Bring another belt to the fight and makes the fight bigger.
I agree.
But Shakur needs to be tested, and I think right now that's probably the best person to test him ultimately outside of Tank or Loma. I'll be honest with you.
Thank you. That fight right there is a fight that, man, yeah, wasn't he, Pop? Thank you. Thank you, Pop. Oscar was definitely trying to duck that smoke. And it was a weird duck, too, because I would go into the receipts and show y'all the videos of Oscar sitting there saying that he wanted Zepeda to fight Shakur next.
Right.
And it was Panda who came out on a Mill City interview who was talking about he didn't want that fight next. He wanted Loma next, right? Which I'm like, all right, Loma, I get it, money. Loma is Loma. Recognition, a title. It's all there. But at the same time, Zepeda wants to fight Shakur. And Shakur wants to fight Zepeda. So why ain't they fighting? You know what I mean? And now Zepeda's in the ring talking about, I'm just going to let my management tell y'all who's going to be. He just got to put anybody. He doesn't care. Okay, what does that mean? That basically means that they had a conversation and told Zepeda to shut the hell up and stop telling these people who you want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
WBC, I think, so that.
Don't let these ring announcers convince you, or whatever they call it. The broadcast people tell you, you know what I mean? Don't build their heads up with funny guessing. We trying to move you our way. That's what what you said.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? I think Eddie Hearn did that shit, by the way. I think Eddie Hearn showed his power. And
what did he say, though?
Shakur what he could do.
What did he say to Zepeda? What did Zepeda say when they asked him this time that he wants Shakur? Because they were trying to set him up this time. What did he say? I don't know. You got to talk to my team.
Right.
And now Barichek, it looks like the way to go.
Right.
Which is the guy has been, he's like a tuna fish sandwich, bro. Where everybody see him as food, bro, for real.
100%. Yeah, Pop.
And I think I had this private conversation with Clay. I was like, yo, everybody's sleeping on this dude. They don't realize these Eastern Europeans are being business. The last opponents, like last top opponents that we seen, like Boots and Shakur, Tio, who else? In recent even Navarrete, right? In recent times, these Eastern European fighters, even Benavidez, yo, they've been given difficult fights. So don't be surprised if Barichek turn it up on one of these dudes and be like, yo, y'all thought I was food? And he just beat everybody, bro.
100%.
Don't sleep.
It can happen. It definitely can happen.
That was a bad fight he had with Navarrete. That wasn't even like, that was like an ugly fight. That wasn't even like him at his best.
He just basically slowed it down and just was able to slow down Navarrete and turn into a boxing fight, which Navarrete just wasn't.
Yes. Yo, the spinning he did, though, his footwork was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, yo, he has a title. Barichek's one of them people who is hard to beat. I mean, look, he has no losses, right? He knows how to stay away from danger.
Right.
Whoever takes that belt from him is going to be somebody who can cut that ring off and can, you know what I'm saying? It has to be a skilled fighter. A boxer is going to be who takes it from him, not some puncher guy. But William Zepeda kind of brings that. He brings
There's nowhere to hide.
That wild card, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he actually knows how to cut the ring off. After you saw what William Zepeda did to Giovanni Cabrera, Giovanni, now you know that he's a problem because you ain't running from him.
Right.
He knows how to cut the ring off. He knows how to handle that. Like he got to that boy quick and stopped him with a body shot. So that made him automatically an issue. He's an issue now. Because if there was any weakness that you saw in there, you might have been like, yeah, somebody going to do him like Sabril. You know what I mean? Yeah, he doing that.
I hear you, Big Sarge. I ain't mad at you, for real. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, but Baranchyk's a good boxer. If you don't know how to cut the ring off and stop him from doing what he does, he can keep his title.
Right.
He can make it quite boring.
So Baranchyk shows boxing intelligence. That's the problem. And a lot of people sleep on that. That makes a big difference in the ring. I don't think he's a Cambosis type dude. I don't think he's a fluke. You know what I mean? I just think he had a difficult fight with a guy that liked to punch and just kept trying to kill him in the ring. Pause. You know what I mean? Like, and the reason why I said pause is because I don't want to use the word KILL on the screen. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he tried to take his head off. He was trying to hurt him real bad, and he was able to avoid it, use his foot, slip out of it, go back and forth with him, move, and connect. Yeah, I hear you. I hear
Sarge. Definitely hear you,
we
man.
can call them pillows, pom-pom. We didn't say that about a lot of fighters. It is what it is.
100%. 100%, man. Crazy.
Like Eddie.
Man, I'm exhausted, bro.
I know. I can see it. I can see it in your eyes. Pause.
Problem, though. In another 4 hours, I've been up 24 hours, bro.
There you go.
in the 4 more hours, I'll be up 24 hours.
We can definitely kick it out of here at 12, 12:30, whatever you want. You know what I mean?
No, not 12:30. We're going to get it. It's going to be 12. It's going to be 12. We got 30 more minutes. Matter of fact, what I want to do is open up if somebody want to come up here and build with us, we can build on these conversations. But if y'all don't want to, trust me.
Well, our brother Lance going to show up first.
I hope you're feeling better, Lance, if you do come up here. I hope you're feeling better than you did last week. I hope you're feeling better than you did last week, man.
Who else we got? We got Frequent Flyer in the building.
Is Flyer still here?
Yeah, he here.
It might not be.
You know what we didn't talk about? Oh, we did. We talked about that. My bad.
What? We got bouts. Oh, we didn't talk about Jalil.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I seen it in the background. But yeah.
No, we did not talk about Jalil. So how'd you feel about the Jalil Hackett fight? What you watching it?
Bro, that was just a terrible opponent matchup for him. But he showed very good boxing skills, and he showed that he can take a punch. You know what I mean? Like that was a good push for them to move him up to to the top 10 or top 15 opponents. That was crazy.
Well, considering that was his last fight was a 4-round fight.
That's what I'm saying. That was he's definitely he showed that he was ready. Exactly. Oh, Lance said he's ready. Yeah, Jalil Hackett's ready too. My bad.
That boy said I got my shirt off too.
Whoa. Pause. No, yeah, go get a shirt on. He can come up.
That guy
doing that.
Yeah. Anyway. Jalil.
I'm just
I ain't playing. I'm dead serious. Do not come up here with your shirt
off. Yeah, you can't have your shirt off. We don't want to see the tats, bro. We good.
Not at all. No, not at all. Not even a little bit. But
keep it kid friendly.
I was looking for Jalil to show me some special. I felt like the step up was huge. To go into a 10-round fight against somebody like, I know people who don't know Pistol Pete might not realize like this dude can fight. You know what I mean? I wanted to see there was something special about him because when they talk about Jalil Hackett, they bring him up in the same conversations as Abdullah Mason, as Keyshawn Davis, even a little bit Andy Cruz-ish. You know what I mean? Andy got more accolades, but they talk about him like he's gonna be like a phenom, like this young kid who's coming to take the game up. He's getting trained by Coach Kenny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was trying to see what I was hoping to see something that was gonna make me feel like he was somebody to watch. And I'm saying that lightly because I still feel like he's somebody to watch, but without a doubt, he's still developing. You know what I mean? And he needs to stay in that level, is what I got from that fight. He doesn't need to go no higher. I don't think he's going to go lower because he's fighting 10 rounds now. He's not fighting 4-round people no more. You can't go back down to 4 rounds. But they need to be careful with him. I think he could definitely get a Floyd Schofield, you know what I'm saying? Junior type of energy.
Right. Let me ask you a question. You know what? Maybe it's just me, but I had young Floyd mentality when I was watching him box. Like I was looking at him like when Floyd Mayweather Jr. was fighting, how he kept the distance. He knew where to throw. He had good footwork. He managed to fight. Yeah,
I thought Jalil was rushing him.
Listen, Anxious, yes. Rushing, no.
I'm not saying rushing like irresponsibly, but I felt like he was pressing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, he was anxious. Yeah. Anxious, yeah. He was definitely anxious. But I'm saying that looked like Floyd, what's the name? Mayweather. I mean, like, not Money Mayweather. That looked like, what's the name? Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And, I just seen a lot of that in that fight. That's all. That's how I looked at it. And shout out to Pop Shot for dropping some color in the chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Pop Shot. Saying big ups to Clay and Ray and to all you brothers in the chat. Nothing like men able to converse like men without disrespect. 100% Pop Shot. That's what we stand on. That's the foundation to it all.
Everybody in the chat, for real.
That's the foundation to it all, man. Thank you for putting the color in there, man. Definitely. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Oh, yeah. He did well. Yup. And he had a layoff play. He did do
exactly.
He did look good, bro. Pause. No, did he?
Yeah, no, he did, man. I think, you know, you're going to keep an eye on him. I saw, but that wasn't the performance that was going to have me saying he's special. It's just that performance, that performance didn't say that, but it did say keep an eye on him. It also made me ask, how much longer can this kid stay at 147?
That is true.
147 for him was just like, I'm like, yo, that kid looked like he was just depleted. He looked good, you know, fighting. He had the energy, whether he had it or whether he was faking it, however you want to take it. He was the aggressor. He caught a Pistol Pete with a lot of good shots. You know what I mean? There was a time when he had him really hurt in the fight, but it still looked like it made me question as to whether or not this kid is supposed to stay at 147.
And I'm going to take it back. I'm not going to give him Floyd accolades. I'm going to say he looked more like Tommy Hearns the way he was punching, not with power. He looked like Tommy Hearns without power. Yeah, great work. Who you got?
Ryan Frazier. I ain't seen Ryan. I seen you in a minute, fam. It was good with you, fam.
Yeah, man. I work like 12-hour shifts, so I be on, off, on.
Oh, you like me. I relate to you 100%, brother. Like we out here working hard trying to make it happen, right?
Yeah, man. People don't understand, man. It's a grind. You know?
That shit takes your energy. Like you be trying to be present, but you be like, yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. Brain fog like a mug. So bear with me.
Like summertime now, my kids are home. It's the worst, man. I get no time.
Oh, bro, tell me you ain't ready for them to go back. Yo, salute, right? We ready for them to go back.
Man.
You know, tell you, I worked a weekend wraparound shift, right? I worked the weekend and my days off are Tuesday to Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I work 4 days on, 3 days off. People are like, why don't you take the weekend off? I'm like, because my kids be home during the weekend, bro. Ain't nobody trying to be around them. Yo, let me tell you something. I love my kids, bro. But if I'm really trying to have a day off, bro, listen, bro. I purposely took that schedule because, bro, let them have the crib for the weekend. My wife could deal with them. You know what I mean? When I get home, I'll be ready to see them a low key because I've been gone all day. I rock with them. But I got to wake up in the morning. I'm hungry. What we doing today? We go to the park? Nah, bro, it's my day off, bro. I get enough of that from my boss at the job, bro. You ain't doing that to me.
Nah, you're right, man. Absolutely. It's crazy.
And you got to feed them little sons of bitches. Love them. But they up all day, right? The electricity bill higher, the fridge getting empty sooner, everything. I need y'all to get the hell up out my crib and go somewhere else. 8 hours a day,
so
man.
True, bro.
Well, we got
there he is. What's up, player?
Yeah, no, that's JR Spot. That's JR Spot.
That's JR.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know who that is. That's why I said, what's up, player?
Okay.
I had an imposter.
Lance is an imposter. Lance said he coming up.
Nah, chill, bro. Yeah, bro. He can stay. He love you, Lance. But anyway. But yo, so what do you think about the fights, man? So did you catch it? Did you catch them all?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I watched the Boots fight. Jalil Hackett, obviously, he's one of those guys I've been high on for a while, so I was glad to see him fight. I thought Pete Dobson was the perfect opponent because he's very durable, and he went 12 with Conor Benn, so it was a measuring stick fight for Jalil Hackett. And shout out to Eddie Hearn because he challenges guys right off the rip, man. He didn't give. We gotta celebrate
Eddie. We didn't even talk about Eddie tonight. We didn't even talk about Eddie the right way because Eddie had a successful night just as much as any of those fighters had a successful night. That Philadelphia event was a big gamble, right?
Yep.
For somebody coming from the UK, right? Coming to pick up all these American fighters and take a chance on Boots Ennis and be like, all right, bro, I'm gonna bet it on you, bro. You said you got it like that, right? Let's see your city come out.
Yeah, man, I was
14,000
impressed.
people, 15,000 people in the building.
Yo, and we all had that. Like, that's the thing about Boots. We were like, is he a draw? Like, that was the biggest question mark. Oh, like, can he bring crowds out? And he can in Philly. That's for sure. We know that now. So, I mean, shout out to Boots. I just hope he gets a good fight next fight, man. He deserves it.
I hope that the fights are easier to be made now that he has a backing, that he's shown he has a following, that he's got the belt. Like Eddie Hearn said, he's the money fight for anybody at 147 right now. He's the big money fight. Yep. So I'm hoping that helps push forward and gets him unification title fights. You know what I'm saying? Big fights.
Yep, absolutely. And then you had the Muratalla and Tevin Farmer. That was a close fight right from start to end. I think like that 10-8 round was suspect, man. That point, I just felt like at that point in the fight, you should not be doing that as the ref. Exactly, you got to warn, man. Like that was just like deep in the fight like that. Nah, you got to warn.
That's what I said. There was no warning, bro. They just took a point away. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't even like an aggressive hold.
No, and I feel like that took a lot out of Tevin Farmer mentally. And at that point in the fight, you got to be, and you can't make no mistakes. And you know, he had to fight with the ref and Muratalla in front of him. So I feel like that's why he lost that.
Let me ask you this, right? Like all credit, giving credit to Tevin Farmer, because I don't want to make it sound like maybe it should have been easier, but I'm just saying, as far as Muratalla is concerned, combine that with his last performance. Is Muratalla who we thought Muratalla was? Is he still Raymond Muratalla, or are we seeing some holes in like he's every fight? Well, the last two fights, he just seems more beatable. Every time I see him perform, like he seems very beatable now. Where he just seemed like I remember we were having conversations about him fighting Shakur, right? Like we need to see him against Shakur. I don't know if I need to see him against Shakur right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like I haven't seen that kind of performance from him. What'd you pull away from that? Seeing that fight?
You know, Top Rank does a good job of challenging their young guys when they're young. Like they don't like you get to Top Rank, you're gonna get a tough fight when you're young. So they're doing that right now to him, where like Shakur already passed that test. He's already passed that. He's gone. Right. Keyshawn's going through it right now too. Like you saw him a little bit of adversity, but he weathered the storm and he looked really good. So I think we're just seeing the elite from the A fighters now. That's all it is. It's a separation.
Right. That's what it is. But where's Muratalla in that conversation?
I think he's an A fighter, to be honest. I don't think he's an elite, but he's Mexican, right? So he's got that backing. And Bob knows that.
And I just want to say, and I'll let JR Spot kick in it too. Like I just stated earlier, I just think that they just pissed him off, or he's just being lazy because he just doesn't feel like these guys are on his level. I think he wanted the big fights. He wanted a championship fight, and they just wasn't giving it to him. And I just think he was like, I'm just gonna go here and just win. And it just plays out that the opponents are just teetering and playing with him, bro. Like they're just coming back at him with the same action. Like he just don't look. He looks human. Look like kryptonite right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, and I think he's a good fighter. I really do. I think he's elite. Well, not elite.
Yeah.
I feel like something's off mentally. Like physically, he's there, and he's got the skills. He just doesn't piece it together. It might be some kind of confidence issue or an aggressive type issue, but some like the puzzle pieces aren't coming together right with him for some reason.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, he's number 2 right now in the WBO rankings, right? He's right there behind William Zepeda. That means title fights is right around the corner for him.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Berinchyk, maybe he beats him. And I say that because Dennis, he can box and he can stay away from danger. He's not getting slept. Look, the man is undefeated. He's not an exciting fighter. He's not showbox, but he's the kind of fighter. When he gets a belt, you kind of like, damn, because he's hard to take it away from because he knows how to win rounds. Is Raymond Muratalla, that Mexican heart that he has, is he a good enough boxer to take the title away from Dennis Berinchyk? And on top of that, what other champion in the 135 can he compete with outside of Dennis? Like he ain't going with Shakur. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it can happen, maybe, but I don't see it. He definitely ain't fucking with Tank. That's not. You better stay away from him. Tank know how to take advantage of all that. What we seen this weekend against Tevin, Tank know exactly what to do with that. He knows exactly what to do with that. He gonna get right to it with him. And is he beating Lomachenko?
I can see.
Not either.
Go ahead. You go first.
Yeah. I'm not sure, man. Like, I think Lomachenko's his best chance, to be honest, just because of his age, just because of Lomachenko's age. But I still don't think he beats Loma. Loma's very good on the front foot, man. I think people sleep on Loma on the front foot. You think he's just like, the footwork is great, but it's just nonstop pressure footwork. That's what it is. But I just think he's gonna be used as a Mexican money fight. Like, him and Tank will fight for
bring his fan base, bring a fan base, and
on
take
a
advantage of that.
Mayo weekend, it'll be Tank now and Muratalla, like that type of thing. I don't think he'll be an actual unified champ.
I question if he's going to even be a champ.
Yeah,
like I said earlier, I think Keyshawn gets him out of there. You know what I mean? Keyshawn gets him out of there, cleans him up, gets him out of there, bro. I think Keyshawn gets him out of there. Three fights ago, I wouldn't have talked like this that easily. I would have felt like, you know what I mean, this dude can get with just about damn near anybody. You know what I'm saying? Today, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to kick back and say I think he can beat Loma because I've seen the way Loma fights against talent like his. I think that's Loma starts slowing. He downloads too much, and that gets Loma in trouble with fighters like this style of fighter. Barancek is the same fighter as Loma, maybe a little tad bit slower and a little sloppier. I can see him losing the fight because I can see him catching him and trapping him in the corner because he does walk his opponents down. And he's good at cutting off the ring. He can hurt Barancek. As far as Shakur, I think that's a firework fight. I think that's the fight he wants. I think he steps up for that fight. I think that's a fight he'll step up on.
Right.
It is a beatable fight for him, but I don't think he beats Shakur. Definitely not Tank. I think only way he beats Tank if Tank walks into something. But I just see that as a Barrios fight. Tank, when he fought Barrios, a similar fight. He'll try to utilize the outside to keep Tank away and power. You know what I mean? When he comes inside, and then Tank just finds a way to just break him down and get him out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Muratalla is definitely the weak link of the division. Look at top four.
That's strong.
Yeah,
that's strong.
Just what I've been seeing, man. You know.
I agree with you, JR.
I'm a fan of boxing. I'm not a fan of any.
Wow. I like that statement. That's a strong statement.
I think he has. I think it's a statement that holds merit because you got to compare him to everybody else. It's not just off the strength of him. You got to put somebody over him. You got to be like, all right, well, if he ain't the weak link, then all right, then who's the weak link? Who you about to put him over?
Cambosis.
I mean,
he beats Cambosis.
Cambosis is not in the conversation, bro.
You said who? Well, I had to name somebody.
I agree. He definitely beats Cambosis, right? He definitely beats Cambosis. But he's not messing with. Okay, I'm gonna say Keyshawn Davis. No,
I don't know. That's interesting. See, that's interesting to me.
William Zepeda. No. Shakur Stevens. No. I don't even think Lomachenko. Y'all saying Lomachenko? Okay. I don't think so.
I'm gonna kick back on that.
No.
I'm gonna kick back on Keyshawn Davis. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think the fight would have been a lot better with Meduna, whatever his name is, right? If he had more accuracy and he took his time with his punches, because he was throwing good shots. He was just either too slow or just wild. He didn't.
Medueno?
Yeah, Medueno. My bad with Keyshawn.
Mm-hmm. And I think Medueno. If you're saying if he had skills that he doesn't have, he would be more competitive.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what
we can say that about anybody else, right? A lot of people we can say if they didn't have,
I know, but listen, he was the reason why because he was closing the distance and he was making it difficult for Keyshawn. Keyshawn was doing a great job countering. We got to give him credit. Credit where it's due. You know what I mean? I tip my hat to him. But I think with a Raymond Muratalla who fights similar and is a strong puncher, I think he can act and he's more accurate. And I think he can land those shots. That could be a rough fight for Keyshawn, believe it or not. Or it could be fireworks. And it could be a great fight for Keyshawn as well. I think that can go either way. I'm not gonna give it to either or. I think that's a toss up.
I think Keyshawn clips him. I ain't gonna hold you. I think he clips him, bro. But you never know. Look, it's boxing.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right,
true.
bro. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But just off the eye test, just off you, if you asking me, if I only had $20 in my pocket, and you were like, you got to put that money on somebody, I ain't throwing it on Muratalla.
Yeah. And that's not no slight to him. It's just the division is so good. It's so deep. So, like, it's probably one of the best divisions in boxing.
Right. I agree.
It's right
We're
up
talking
there.
about Muratalla right now, Adam. We're talking about Muratalla. We're trying to figure out, in his last 2 fights, are we seeing a decline? Is the competition just that much better than him? Is like, what do we feel about him right now? Because he's number 2 in the WBO, and he's going to be in title contention soon, somewhere, or if not, way tougher fights. His fight's about to be way tougher, whether it's Keyshawn Davis, whether it's Frank Martin, whether it's, I don't know, these other fighters. But where do we place him as far as relevancy, or as far as threat at 135? Right. He's probably the weakest link out of all the top dudes. Like, yeah, bro.
I love when divisions get like this. They become like a Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Right. No matter how strategic you try to become, if you're like top 5 fighter, your back gets up against the wall, dude, and you have to fight somebody.
Eventually, exactly. You got to show your colors, man. No I think 54 is turning into that too.
What's good, Lance? You got the punching bag in the back. You good? Like you in a good mood, bro? You all right?
Nah, man. I'm not in a good mood. I'm not in a good mood, Clay. You've been talking that shit.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna throw you in the back for a second, let you marinate. I'll let you feel better. Get you a glass of water.
Fair enough.
Okay, cool. But yeah, man. I don't know, bro. Raymond Muratalla didn't impress me. He didn't impress me with the Tevin Farmer fight, and that's why I'm gonna leave it. I want to see more. That's the kind of dude I am. The way I answer that question about how do you feel about Raymond Muratalla, I want to see more.
I think we've seen a lot. I think we've seen him in 18 other fights that he looked great in. I just think the last 2 fights, he just, it just showed that, like I said, it just looks like something wasn't there. Like he mentally lost something.
But we got to see him mentally get it back.
I just think it's a challenge for Shakur. He wanted that fight with Shakur. He didn't get it. And they played games with him. And I think it's just mentally bothered him. Salute to Charles Edward Cheese with the color in the chat.
Geez. Salute, Cheese.
Big one there.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, for real with the red.
Salute. Thanks for putting that red in the chat. Thank you. You saying thanks.
Yeah.
You're welcome, I guess.
Man. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't know. Look, I'm trying not to go against the grain, and I'm just trying to see.
You got to go against the grain. I feel you.
I'm looking at what things really are, and I see every boxer goes through sometimes. They go through these little bumps in the roads at times, and then they find themselves again when they get into elite competition, or they don't, and then they lose. So I have seen it in both sides of the field playing like that. I still think he's one of the top boxers at 135. I mean, if I'm not mistaken it,
I'll say that.
If I'm not mistaken it, I mean his ranking does, and the sanction bodies believe that too, and they're usually pretty spot on about their sanctions on who's top and who's not. You know what I mean? So
you better not even say that, man. Because you already know earlier don't even say that, bro. Don't even say that, bro.
I'm about to tell you, and I think he's showing.
I just got into it with this dude about this early today offline, and this dude was saying something else. He better stop playing with me, bro. I told you when we were talking about
what's up here for boxing. Shout out to here for boxing. Don't worry.
We here for boxing. Hold up, bro.
Mute your mic.
Hold up. We were talking earlier, and I'm like, Keyshawn Davis moving up in the ranks. You know what I'm saying? He deserves. If he gets a title fight and he gets a champion, he earned his right to be in the conversation of fighting Tank Davis. Mm-hmm. He doesn't feel like Keyshawn deserves to be in that conversation. I'm like,
that's not what I said. See, now you moved the needle. You moved the goal.
Let me just say this part. So I said that. He goes, it don't matter. These rankings be messed up sometimes anyway. These rankings don't mean nothing. That's what he said. Now he like, these sanctioning bodies, they be getting it right most of the time. And then what they with these sanctioning bodies.
Okay. Go ahead. So there's 2 sides to that. Now, what I said to you is I agree about Keyshawn Davis being where he is, and he does deserve a shot. What I said also was that sometimes at the rankings do get it wrong. And when I mean that they get it wrong, it's not saying Keyshawn was out of place. I'm saying like sometimes they'll throw somebody in there that's not ready for a championship fight or some type of fight like that. And then what happens is they end up getting exposed because they put them in there with the wrong person. I didn't get to elaborate because you were too busy building on one part of the argument. And there's
I was definitely taking your head off. I was definitely coming for you, bro, without a doubt. I was definitely coming for you. I ain't gonna lie.
It's toe to toe. I don't know about that, but pause on the taking the head off stuff.
I was trying to take your head off.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I was bobbing and weaving. I ain't gonna lie. I had the Ali shuffle going, but we good.
I was in attack mode for sure.
But we good. Look, I'm not. I think Keyshawn can hold a division. I think he can get a belt. I just don't see him as holding on to a belt for long, if that was the case. That's it. That's my opinion. That's honesty. I just think there's too many good fighters in that division that can easily sneak up there and steal one from him. That's it. At the end of the day.
I felt like Keyshawn had one of the best performances.
He did.
I felt like Keyshawn had one of the best performances the other night. In my opinion, I felt like he had one of the best performances, if not the best performance.
And I literally, and Lance, no disrespect, but you heard me earlier say that. I was like, yo, I think he put on a great show. He showed a lot.
It was an unorthodox fight. It was an unorthodox fight, but it was a great fight.
Right. But does he do that with everybody is the question. That's
not all the time.
Like the top 5 guys. Does he do that with everybody?
But at least he showed up to put on a show, though. You know, like he showed up to put on a show.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree.
And Lance, I'm glad you just said that, right? Because my main thing about Keyshawn that I keep trying to push out there and let it be known is, at a minimum, you know he's gonna participate in an exciting fight, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Him holding a belt, right, at 135, him being a potential WBO champion and holding a belt means that we got great fights. You line him up with Shakur, great fight. You line him up with Tank, great fight, right? Mm-hmm. You put him against any of these other champions, and he's gonna push them. So if they do win, they're gonna look even. It's gonna be something on their resume that they're gonna be able to be like, yo, remember that Keyshawn Davis fight? That was a crazy fight.
But my question to you is, why didn't you say Cruz in that whole thing? Because everybody knows that's the fight that we want.
You talking about Isak? You talking about Isak?
Not Isak.
No, Andy Cruz.
Oh, Andy. Okay, my bad. Yeah.
That's where I was going with.
Right. Great fight. That's for Keyshawn. Great fight. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that would be, if anybody's following his career, would be the main topic of conversation, right? That'd be what people are talking about. Like, let's see that happen before anything. But we don't want to cross him off early, or what? What's the deal?
Frank Martin.
Frank Martin. Nobody has ever been clamoring about the Frank Martin fight.
I think they talked enough to each other to really get.
No, I mean they got
beef. Beef is there. They have beef, legitimately.
I know they legitimately got beef, but I'm gonna be real with you, Frank. Bro, you got knocked out.
Nobody's clamoring about that shit. Fuck about the beef. What the fuck are y'all talking about? The beef? I've never heard about the goddamn beef.
I know. So it's cursing. All right.
Yeah, watch with the cursing. We gotta monitor that. But there is this smoke. There is smoke there, right? There, if you pay attention to them, you've seen them have a face off. It was pretty intense. You know, Frank was like, "You don't play like that." You know what I mean? He really liked that, and Keyshawn was like, "I'm really like that." They had a moment, right? I don't think it's the same level of intensity of beef right now. I think there's more of a little bit more respect there, but at the same time, there's a story there. There's a history there between them. But as I was going to say earlier, Frank got knocked out, and I even though it was Tank who did it, he got knocked out. And Keyshawn is in the position right now, as far as the Andy Cruz question goes, he's in a position right now to where it's like he'd fight Andy Cruz, but whoever's managing him, if I was managing him, I wouldn't be lining up Andy Cruz right now because Andy Cruz is 3-0, bro. Mm-hmm. This kid is in position to fight for a championship. He's in position right now to fight to hold a belt right now. That's got to be the priority, bro. Not to settle some old Olympic smoke they had when they were teenagers, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like, there will be a time for that fight. I just don't think right now is the time for that fight. Keyshawn Davis will definitely be going backwards and risking all of his progress and all his hard work that he's put in to get where he's at right now with a 3-0 Andy Cruz.
I respectfully disagree. I don't know. Andy Cruz has been looking hella sharp. Y'all are capping. Y'all are capping.
All his fights have been 10-round fights, so he's already in championship fight contention. So
his next fight is against who?
His next fight is
Moran, I
that
believe.
card that you're talking about. That
Antonio Moran.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, bro.
Jermaine Ortiz fought.
I'm not even on the payroll. Y'all forgot to send me my check. I'm not doing none of that.
Look, I mean, Andy Cruz did beat Keyshawn several times in the amateurs, but Keyshawn took the strategic move to get into the pros earlier. He's way further into his career. Sorry, Andy needs a few more fights if he wants to get to that.
But Andy is looking great. Andy has been looking great. And so has Keyshawn. And so is Keyshawn. Honestly, this is the best. This is one of the best rivalries that we've had in boxing for a long, long time, in my opinion. And they're not doing a good enough job about building this up. They're not doing a good enough job about building this up. Because this is something that has been instilled in boxing for a while. And the fact that they have been neglecting to build this fight up is something that is just, I don't know, it's taboo. Honestly, I shouldn't be talking about it. Y'all shouldn't be talking about it. We shouldn't be talking about how they're not even talking about this fight. But it's something that it's an excellent fight. This is something that has been in the works for many years. This isn't something that just came up overnight. This is something that could really be a great fight for us right now, today, tomorrow, within the next year. I mean,
agree.
The problem.
You know why I like what you're saying, Lance, and maybe y'all agree with me. Here's the thing.
No, we ain't gonna agree with you, bro.
Yeah, I don't care what you say. So you talk about going up getting one of these championship straps, right? So let's say he goes up.
Y'all are some fucking haters. What the fuck are you talking about?
Listen. Let me build.
How are you going to start? Let me build with. I don't care about.
Let me finish this real quick. Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
So Clay's saying that Keyshawn needs to go up there, get one of these fights, and fight somebody at the top, whatever. Let's just say he loses one of those fights. That takes away from the Andy Cruz fight, because if Andy Cruz then fights him and beats him, then they're going to be
with the previous format.
Right.
That's so trash. I hate boxing. I hate all this shit. If he fucking loses to him, what? Then what? He's trash.
Yeah, it's the worst. Take your time, bro. Take your time with your words.
Yeah.
Take your time, man. You could do it.
So
go ahead. Let him build. Don't let him do what he was saying. Let him say what he's saying.
Andy Cruz and him fight within the next year, which I like what you're saying. Next year to year and a half. I like that because at that time, that sets him up for that gives Andy Cruz like 2 or 3 more fights. That puts him in, and he's already fought in 10-round fights, right? So that means that I put him, because he's already ranked, that puts him into a nice category of championship contention. Let's say Keyshawn does get a belt, and he has nobody to fight. Next year, we see that fight happen. That makes for some good action, because that'll be some history there, and that builds up that fight better. I think, it makes sense in a way. I don't see it happening like tomorrow, but definitely, in a few.
Yeah, I see the fight being a big fight when it happens. When it happens, it's going to be It don't matter. It don't matter if one of them lose, bro. It's still going to be a big fight. If Keyshawn loses, in my opinion, it's still a big fight because he's going to lose against somebody big. He's competing at a high level. He's not going to lose to no bum. And their story doesn't get less of a story. You know what I'm saying? Andy Cruz still will need a Keyshawn Davis victory on his resume to it will help build him up to fight big championship fights because they're pushing him through. The boy 3-0 right now. His last 2.
I love what you said there, Clay. Their story does not get to be nothing less of a story. That they have a whole history. They have a whole history. They have a whole era. They have that's their shit.
Facts. Mm-hmm. Right. That's a fact. I don't think it goes away. I think let it marinate. Let Andy fight. Let him fight Antonio. Let him get another fight. Let Top Rank handle him. I think they're doing a good job with him. Let Keyshawn get on do what he does, and when it's time for them to meet, it'll be a big fight. But it's not. It can't. I don't think it should be, and I don't think it is a priority for Keyshawn Davis right now. He's already tried to make the fight before by letting Eddie Hearn know, listen, send me the paperwork. Let's get that fight done right now. They haven't done it. There's a reason, because they're waiting for that right time. It's like right now saying I want to see Abdullah Mason fight Emiliano Vargas. It's like, nah, yeah, I want to see it, but not right now. Let that build up. Let Emiliano build up his record. Let Abdullah do his thing, and they're going to have a great fight. He's going to bring that Mexican fan base with him. Abdullah going to bring this fan base that they're building up with him, and when that fight happens, it should be a huge fight. Headliner at least. Maybe even like on a main card of a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the headliner, but it's that kind of a fight. Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis have the elements to build to a big fight like that. Well, right now, if they were to fight, it'd be a good fight. Boxing fans like us on this panel are going to love that fight. But is the world properly introduced to this story and to what they can do yet to make that fight as big as it could be and bring in the money that it could bring in? I don't know if it's there yet.
Yeah, I think
right.
We got to get it sooner than later, though, because the thing I hate about boxing today is we don't get enough rematches and trilogies because they fight so old. So after that one guy's either done or the other guy's like, nah, I already you beat me. It's over. Like,
well, you don't want to cook it. You don't want to cook it for another, like, I don't know, what are y'all, like 3-4 years? Are we going to be talking about that Andy Cruz and you know what I mean?
I don't think it's going to be that long. I think it's going to be like 2 max. I think it's going to be like 2 max. Like let Keyshawn take a run at being a champion. Let him try. Let's see what he does. He's number 3 right now in the WBA.
He's clearly very gifted. He's clearly very gifted.
Let him make this title his priority right now. Because if he gets this title, now he's in the conversation with Tank and Shakur. He's in that conversation now, and those are big fights too, huge fights for him. Let him get eliminated. If he's going to lose, let him lose, and then, boom, we'll go to the next chapter. Andy Cruz right now, I love the way he's moving right now, and I think I want to go on record. I think he's probably the best boxer in 135 right now, besides Shakur. Boxer.
He's real clean. He's real clean.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's like Lomachenko 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Like he's really like that. But let him build. Let them build it up. Let them build it up. Emmanuel Vargas is the new Chavez. Yeah, Vargas is gonna be doing it, bro. Vargas's family is doing it right now. I like what Fernando doing with the kids, man. He got the boys running right now, bro. I like it. I like it. Salute, Cool Hand. What's good with you, family?
What's good?
Man, we're doing good, man. You know, we just building. It's always easier when the panel's up here building like this. It's always easier to stay on, especially after a long day like I've had. How's your day been going?
Yeah, it's going good, brother. I see you went past your curfew.
Don't tell him. I ain't want to tell him.
I looked down at the corner, so that's why I fell.
I was like, damn, we good.
Trust me.
Like, look, we building. Let them keep building.
Yeah, Bill.
For sure. Yo, I want to say, man, with a lot of these boxers out here, we as fans, you know, we pairing them up, but these boxers can, like old school, they can go out and make their fights. Just like Bud went out and he found Spence. He chased him down for like 2.5 years. You know, back in the old days when Tarver, he was going to every Roy Jones interview, post conference. Hagler showing up to Sugar Ray. These dudes, if they want to fight, all they got to do is show up and pull up, because these dudes they high character, they got a lot of high self-esteem, and they don't like to be called out. All you got to do is pull up, and they'll make it happen. They'll press the promoters to make it happen. So all this laying back, watching the rankings, and calling people out in the ring, nah, show up. Get in the ring. Devin Haney did it. Pulled up in the ring. Yo, I want you next. What happened? The fight happened. It didn't turn out like he wanted, but hey, he called him out. That's all they got to do, man. They just got to pull up.
Porter did that to Keith. When he pulled up and Keith in the middle of an interview and jumped right up on the camera and right up in the middle, was like, yo, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, bro. You know what we here to do, man. You remember that? He was like, I'm usually trying to be respectful, but you act like, you know what I mean? I'm telling you straight up, I ain't playing with you. I want that fight next. I remember when Shane did it to Floyd.
It is, yep.
Floyd off. Floyd was like, you up in here? He was like, hey, bro, I don't know about all that, man. I mean, I don't know about what you're talking about right now. It's my time. You come, yeah. All that shit you talking about, bro. We supposed next.
That's it. That's all they got to do, man. Pull up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why
I ran into the whole city of Norton.
I'm gonna be real with you. That's why I low key vibe with Keyshawn Davis's movement, man. I like him being like, yo, I'll fight all of you, bro. You too, bro. What are you talking about? We can fight next. Like, I don't care. I'm not studying none of your accolades, bro. Respectfully, give me mines, because I think I'm that guy. I think you nice, but I think I'm nicer, man. What you want me to say? I think I can fight you. Let's fight. Like, I seen him talking to Coach Kenny and them on Mills yesterday, and he was like, "Listen, man, we can get your boy on the phone right now." He said, "We don't even do for the cameras. This ain't no cloud chasing. Y'all know I'm not playing." He's like, we can get it right now. He knows I ain't playing. I will fight that boy.
That's it. He carried that energy. He said he did it to T.O. before they fight.
Yeah, he did.
You calling them out.
That's that old school stuff. And I think the people today don't know how to deal with that energy when they see these fighters that do that. They're like, yo, this guy out of pocket. Like, I saw Coach Kenny ask Keyshawn, let me see you go 365 days without saying Tank's name. Keyshawn looked at the camera like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Like, he just looked at the camera like, oh, man, what are you talking about? He's like, you say that man's name every day, bro. What are you talking about, bro? I won't fight that man. What are you talking about? 365 days. What does that even mean? You feel me? Like Gilly had to jump on him like, hold on, Kenny, bro. You know, respectfully, coach. You know, when they don't want to give me coach, respectfully. You know what I mean? He's at the top of the mountain, bro. If this dude want to test, you feel like he should be at the top. This is what we're talking about. This is what boxing is about. This is what the fans want to see. We want to see somebody who really want to fight. That's why, you know why I want to see Keyshawn fight Tank? Because Keyshawn want to fight Tank.
That's right. That's right.
I don't want to see somebody who don't want to fight him.
Scared,
You know what I mean? Same thing with the Zepeda and Shakur fight. I want to see that fight. You know why? Because Shakur want to fight Zepeda.
Zepeda want to fight
Shakur. I want to see those guys fight. That's what I want to see. I want to see the guys that want to fight, man. Find a way to make it happen. That's why I asked the question also about Boots and Terrence. I'm like, yo, does Boots even want to fight Terrence?
I don't think he wanted, man. I don't think he wanted. I ain't saying he running from it, but I don't think he wanted.
Right. Because if he wanted, there's a way to get there.
That's it. He got to challenge Terrence.
He's got an IBF
challenge,
man. At 47, he can enforce at 54. And then Crawford's got to fight him.
He can get in the way. That's what you got to do. If you want to fight, you got to get in the way. You got to jump in front of the car and be like, stop. Nah, bro, you can't go no further. You will not pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where it's. If you want to fight, show us through your actions you want to fight. And like Ross Cloud said earlier in the chat, he said the fans are the only ones really asking for this fight. We don't see Boots asking for the fight. We don't see Terrence has made it clear he don't care about the fight. Like, I don't even want to fight. I want Canelo. So at the end of the day, if they don't want to fight, I don't want to see him fight. How about that? You feel me? I felt the same way about Devin and Tank. Everybody was like, why you want to see Devin and Tank fight? I said, I'm assuming they want to fight. If they don't want to fight, I'm off it. I got no problems with them not fighting. I want to see the people fight that want to fight each other, bro. But you guys got to start walking it. You got to start showing in your actions that you want this fight. You know what I mean? Go challenge somebody. Go fight Virgil Ortiz. Go fight Tim Zhu. You know what I'm saying? Go challenge for that IBF title at 154. Show me you want to fight. Stop making it to where, Terrence got to come back to 147. No, he don't. He already got undisputed. He don't got to come back to 147. He going to the Hall of Fame regardless. He first ballot. You heard? He first ballot going in there. He already did it. So he trying to cement it with more legacy. If Boots want that fight, make it happen. 154. Go challenge. Go get a belt. Go get in the conversation. Go get in the way. Get in the way, bro.
Yeah, get the belt, man.
Yo, I so want to see Tim Zhu and Boots first, though. I so want to see that first. Tim Zhu got that dog in him. But he might have had a performance, but Tim Tszyu got that dog in him. If he wouldn't have got that head,
Boots had a good performance, and
I'm not saying he didn't. No, I didn't say he didn't.
You didn't say it. You didn't say it, but a whole lot of people said it, that he didn't have a good performance. That this, that, and the other thing. That somebody got up in his chest and yada yada yada. Look, I ain't trying to call the manager, but what I'm trying to say is that last fight, he didn't care about Buddy. You know what I mean? He didn't care about him. So he was just trying to do what he did, and he wasn't really worried about what his opponent was really bringing to him. And everybody was super critical about it. And
well, this is what I feel about that. I feel like these dudes go through 3 months, maybe 4 months training camp, and all they have to do is focus on their opponent. I just can't buy into you going in the ring after being out for 3 months away from your family, doing what you got to do, waking up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and you going in the ring not caring about the guy that's across the ring from you.
Not caring. You know what I mean? What you did there.
So the question is, did you watch the fight when Bud fought Avanesyan?
When he fought David?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fight.
It was the same. It was a fight.
Yeah.
Same exact fight.
Nah, it wasn't. You know why? It wasn't the same. It was. But I'm saying I don't feel like Boots went in there not caring. I don't feel that way. I feel like Boots came in there and he fought the way he fought. I think David Avanesyan is a awkward opponent. He pressed the way he pressed against Bud. I think it was the same exact fight. He just got caught with with an injury, and that kind of took him out a little earlier. And plus, he got hit in the nuts. I mean, that gonna affect you. I don't care what you think. He caught him real good.
All right. So to be fair, okay, that's you're right. He got hit in the nuts.
Yeah.
But Bud had planned that fight, right? So he was in training camp for that whole fight. Boots had his opponent switch on him, so he's in training camp for another fight. So that's another thing we got to put in consideration. So at the same time, I mean, you could still even out that the way that fight went. I mean, it's still similar. It's still a similar fight, and the opponent made that fight that way on both opponents. On both.
I agree.
So, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to give, like I said, we got to stop taking away the credit from David Avanesyan. He's the one he's the actual one that fought these guys and put that fight in there the same way. He got dropped both times by both guys on the same thing, a counter. But guess what? He still brought the fight to both of them. So again, tip your hat to the opponent on this one. Not so much the fighters that and they're struggling. They kept it busy.
Yeah. David Avanesyan was tough. That dude was tough. He came at him. He came at him.
Somebody said that on the broadcast. I think they made him look average. They made him look human. Made him look ordinary because Boots wasn't as flashy.
Yeah, put him in there with your favorite fighter. Put him in there with your favorite fighter. I bet you'd probably get beat up.
No, I think Boots is a good fighter. I just don't think that he's had to put the gas a fighter hasn't pressed him enough to do that yet. I think he's been able to control the action in the ring. He hasn't had to adjust what he does. Somebody hasn't made him change his game plan. And I think that when he gets into a ring with someone of that caliber, and it's not his fault that he hasn't, it's just the way it's set up. But I'm saying that if he is as good as a lot of the fans saying that he is, he would be more like Roy. When Roy was coming up, prime Roy was calling out anybody. He didn't care what, and they kind of stylistically match up. Roy was like, whatever, bring it on. Whoever want to come in, come get it. Boots is not doing that.
And Roy would go get it too. He didn't say come get it. He go get it as well. He'd be like, oh no, we're gonna fight you where you good at. No, that's where you good at. That's where you feel like you're the best at. Well, I feel okay. Well, I'm coming to you. So, and this is look, man. This is boxing, man. 100 things can exist in the same space. Boots can be a great fighter. He can be a high level boxer, puncher, showman. He could be a pound for pound great. And at the same time, we can have some critique for him and say, listen, man, there's legacy waiting for you at 154. Everybody knows it, bro. Harold is there. Terrence is there. Virgil is there. Tim Tszyu is there. There's fights up there that can that can add to your legacy. And there's undisputed up there. There's belts up there. There's money up there.
That seems so much easier said than done. What if he loses? Then what?
So what?
Man.
That's a chance.
That's what it's for.
That's a real gauntlet up there.
That's a chance he takes. But look, what I'm saying is all the boxes are checked up at 154. Yep. The money's there. The legacy's there. The belts are there. Everything is there. Did you see how big Boots was looking across the ring? Yeah. Avanesyan? Yeah. That man can fight 154 easily with his eyes closed. He's probably way more dangerous at 154 than he is at 140. He's probably stronger, hitting harder at 154. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we want to see this fight. Yes. But does Boots really care about this fight that much? And if he doesn't care about this fight, that's okay. Stay at 147, follow the program that you and your father came up with, become undisputed. You're going to do it very easily. You're going to run through everybody down there, and you're going to look good doing it. And I'm going to watch it too. I'm going to pay if it's on pay. I'm going to watch it too. Don't get it twisted. But if we're talking about a fight between Terrence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis happening, we know that Jaron's going to have to make the sacrifice, which I don't even think is a real sacrifice, because I think he's even stronger at 154. It's not like he's going somewhere where he's not comfortable, but it's going to take Boots to make that move, and he's going to have to improve through his action, not just by his words, not just like send me a contract, come over here. No, go up there and show. Go beat somebody up significant at 154. Go beat somebody up significant, man, and show like, yo, we out here. Get a mandatory spot. Right now, right now, Virgil Ortiz is fighting for a mandatory spot to fight against the winner between Terrence Crawford and Ismail Madrimov. Right now. That's what he's fighting for. So once this fight is over with, he's gonna become a mandatory for that fight. Go fight Virgil. That right there puts you bust Virgil. That puts you right there in front of Bud right there. Or go and challenge for the IBF. You have an IBF title at 147. Talk to Eddie. Let's get it going. Let's get challenged up there for that IBF title. Get that IBF title now. It's like, oh, I heard you wanted to become undisputed. Well, the road to undisputed comes to Jaron Boots Ennis Avenue. You got to come down the street to get to undisputed. Get in the way. Make moves to get in the way. Or we can all leave it alone. You don't want to fight. And it has nothing to do with fear. I know for a fact Boots ain't scared of fighting nobody. Same way I know Bud ain't scared of fighting nobody. But if the fight is going to be made, there's a way to make the fight happen. You got the money now. You got Turkey Al-Sheikh involved in it now. Come on, bro. There's nothing that can't stop the fight from happening.
I love the process, Clay. I love the process, and I feel like it just started as far as Matchroom goes. So let's just wait and see how this progresses. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I think Eddie that's true. And I was saying that earlier is you know what I mean? I see Boots stop talking about undisputed at 147. He's talking about unified and moving because he keeps mentioning 154 himself. And I think Eddie's been saying unified and moving. So definitely Eddie's got in his ear. His dad's Bozy is the only one saying undisputed. Right? Let that stay there. Bro, you don't need undisputed for legacy. Legacy is there, it's going to be there. Your records and who you fight is going to create that legacy no matter what, if you're undisputed or not. I always tell people, being a multi-division champion creates a better legacy, in my opinion, sometimes than being undisputed. I mean, undisputed is big, but if you can go in 5 divisions and win a belt in each division for 5 divisions, doesn't that say a lot for you and your character? I mean, we still talk about Sugar Ray Robinson today because
Floyd was never undisputed, and Floyd was never undisputed, and he's TBE. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? So Floyd was never undisputed, and on top of that, Ray, just to add on to what you said, undisputed is at 154 too. Undisputed is there for
belts
you.
Are all vacant or all everywhere right now. The belts are.
Come on, man. It's all there. There's nothing that's not there for you, bro. And I'm being honest with you, right? Sometimes I think these fighters, like you see Terrence Crawford became a 2-weight class undisputed champion. Now, you know, everybody wants to do that, right? You see a Monster Inoue do it. You know what I'm saying? You seen Clarissa do it. We got to give Clarissa her props because for some reason they always leave out of this conversation. So everybody wants to do that now. I get it. You can do it you can be undisputed at 154, and then you can go to 160.
Those fights are so heavy, though. I'm trying to be on that level. You know what I mean? I want to be a Zab Judah. I want to be.
My
God
question
damn.
is, what fighters are moving up for the challenges versus what fighters are moving up because they outgrew the weight division? Because Terrence seems like he's outgrown his weight divisions. Where Inoue is moving up for the challenges, Usyk's moved up for the challenges. Loma should be at 130. He came up to 135 for the challenges. You know, like we gotta differentiate here. Who's moving up and why?
And people that just outgrew the division, like you said. I mean, Devin should have left 135 a long time ago, right?
Yep.
And you got Shakur, who should have been at a 126 a long time ago. Tank moved up and had to call up fighters because he couldn't stay at 130. I mean, salute Rachel. You know what I mean? So,
Rachel.
we have a lot of what you just said. Actually, Jr. is 100% true. Like I like that statement.
Yeah, I agree with you for real. I like what he said too as well.
But I like this that they're following Terrence Crawford because now we're seeing the end of that Floyd Mayweather train. These guys don't want to hold that O now. They're going for it now with the unification.
You're right. Oh, you are so right, Ryan. Like that's changed as well. Them O's ain't as valuable as they used to be no more.
Yeah.
Like you know, I mean, the right O is worth it, but now it's like, yo, nah, man, risk that O. Risk that O, bro, for the right fighter, for the right opportunity. Risk that O, because Frank Martin just took a loss against Tank, and that loss is different than any other kind of loss. Right. You feel me? That loss is kind of like, you know, Isak Cruz got a loss against Tank, and look where he's at right now.
Yeah, played well for him.
I'm gonna tell you someone else that's going to try to step on those shoes too and try to create that legacy that they already have a legacy. I think Canelo's going to try to step in Benavidez' way if he tries to go for undisputed added up Bivol and
I don't know, man.
Better be a
fight, right? I think Canelo's going to try to move his way. He's going to use that WBO power to move up to get undisputed up there to be two division undisputed. That's why I think he's holding up on this Crawford fight. Because
I'm asking you, you saying go through Benavidez?
No. I think he's trying to go around Benavidez.
Oh, okay.
He basically said he's going to try to use his
WBO powers to move up.
I see that. I see that.
He's definitely going to try to. Let me use the word. He's going to block him, but I ain't going to say the other word.
I see that.
No Diddy.
He's going to do the way Errol tried to do Bud.
Yeah. I see that.
Right, and I can see that happening because the fact is he wants to be two-time undisputed too, because that's the name of the game right now, right? You even have Usyk that went up and did it. He's moving back down to do it again.
Not about Usyk,
right? He's going back down to do undisputed again because he's like, yo, I can go back to cruiserweight and get undisputed and be three-time undisputed. So we have to understand what this is about and who guys the anyways going to move up eventually. He's going to go for 126. So all this stuff is going to play out in its own way. And I think undisputed is a great thing. Again, it's a great thing to have. And yes, I get it. But I think multi-division champion, I think holds more weight, in my opinion, on certain aspects, especially when you move in 5 or 6 divisions. That shows a lot more.
Yeah, that's what Bam has a chance to do. Bam Rodriguez, because he's so small, right?
Oh, Bam, that dude right
and
now.
He's young right now, and he's taking on those challenges.
How old is that boy? Like 20, 19?
24, I think.
Nah,
I respectfully disagree. I don't know. I feel like a multi-division is a great accolade, but to become undisputed in your division.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Bam.
Yeah, 4 belts is not easy to get in any division.
And I'm sorry to interject, but I'm saying that holds what it is. Like you can't say it's undisputed without talking about it, right? Like you can't talk about it. You can't talk about the shit and talk about undisputed because that's what it is. That's literally what it is. That's the whole definition of the topic.
Well, let's also look at it this way now. The undisputed used to be the linear champion, right? They don't even do that anymore. The linear champion could be anybody that holds more unification. So we can even look at that and say, look, that don't even matter. That Ring Magazine belt can just go through whoever they think is the best fighter.
So that just means the game's watered down. Either that or.
So also, you can be unified and take 2 or 3 belts in a division and move up and still get the same credit, in my opinion. I'm going to tell you why. Because I think, like you said, it doesn't hold the weight as undisputed. But let's look at the people that do move up, and when you do take different chances at belts, you can't always take those. Actually, Rachel said it depends. I'm gonna let Rachel cook on it.
No, I want Rachel. I'm about to say, y'all hold on for a second. Let Rachel build. Salute, Queen. How you?
Hello, Rachel.
Good.
Got your
I think
BMW
it's-
suit on.
Huh? What
Got your
about my
Beamer-
things?
Yeah, your Beamer jacket. I see it.
Is that my mic? That's not my mic, right? Okay. I just think it depends, especially like if you're going like, when you have a champion that's undisputed and then you get a challenger and then you take all the belts in one swoop. Going like, when you have a champion that's undisputed. Is that my computer?
That was yours, yeah.
It's
We're
mine
back.
computer.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You're good now.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I just realized that I pop buttons on my shirt
don't
when
know.
I had my shit pressed.
But yeah,
y'all.
Go ahead, Rachel.
So I think so just when you take in all four belts from someone else, then I think it plays a different factor, right? It's like, I mean, you yes, you beat the big dog in the division, the number one person who supposedly had beaten all the rest of them. But I just think that, just that one off night and all of a sudden you become for the undisputed champion, then all of a sudden you just take in all those belts. I think that, at some point they have to figure out how it goes for a free for all again and people who are fighting all fight together.
Right. And on top of that, what I was going to add to that, I'm going to add to this, Rachel, because this is what I was going to say is not every champion is willing to fight another champion. So they can hold those belts away from you. That's why unification, I think, has a big part. You can fight two champions and then the other two champions just refuse to fight you. So then you stuck either waiting for those fights or you move up and just go get it somewhere else and become a champion at the next division, whether it's undisputed or not. That's what makes undisputed so hard to get and obtain. I get that, but at the same time, how realistic is it when everybody doesn't want to fight you? Boots is going to have the toughest time doing this at 147. That's one thing that we all see because nobody really wants to fight him at 147 but a few fighters. Conor Ben, Stanionis may want to fight him now because he looked touchable. You know what I mean? But then he didn't want to fight him for the longest. Barrios was saying he'll take the fight, but Brian Norman's always like, "Oh, that's my boy. I don't want to fight him." So now we got like somebody playing keep away. One of the others going to play keep away, and then he's going to be staying there 5 years waiting for a title shot, like Earl did Bud and Bud did Earl. That just doesn't make any sense for the game because Earl stood down there way too long waiting for undisputed, and Bud couldn't get that fight because Earl had to go collect the belts. Rather, it was and Earl and Bud couldn't get some of those fights with Thurman and even early on with Sean Porter, and I think who else had the belt? Danny, right?
Danny Garcia had a belt.
Yeah, he couldn't get some of those shots. So those things hold weight when you're trying to do that. Now, when you move forward, it's easier when you're doing it and you got participants willing to give you those shots. That's what I said. That's why they give the lineal title out now, which is really the undisputed title. They give that out now to whoever they feel is the best boxer and that can carry that line of lineage from holding on to titles consistently from title to title. They believe that is a better way of handling that and giving that accolade. I think undisputed holds its weight. Don't get me wrong. I just think that being multiple division champions and having unifications in multiple divisions also holds its weight. It's just a matter of opinions and our thoughts here. But I think if you can get 5 divisions and you're unified in 5 divisions, that holds a lot as opposed to being undisputed in 2.
I think it just gets postponed. It just gets prolonged.
Yeah. For how long? Till you go out the division and you still fighting and you can't make weight and you look like a skeleton? Yeah.
Until you're looking like me with the buttons popped on the shirt and shit like that.
I think that who you fight makes a difference as well in the process, right? Like making the big fights make a big difference in how all this looks. And sometimes people miss that opportunity to fight the best fights because they get so hyper focused on these belts, but sometimes they don't pay attention to these belts enough and they get too caught up on who they fight. You know what I mean? Like you look at Tank right now, he's about to go on his belt campaign, right? He's about to go and search for his accolades via belts, where people were saying before that, oh man, this dude don't have no respect for any belts. So bringing it full circle back to Jaron, just to say, look, man, there's a time and a place for everything. You know what I mean? Time and a place for everything. Sometimes it is about becoming undisputed. Sometimes it's about fighting Terrence. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, sometimes it's about fighting Virgil and Errol, the fights that you were going to fight, the fights that you wanted to fight when they're at 147. But once again, if you don't value those fights and you don't want those fights that way, then cool, stay where you're at. But if you want those fights, there's a way to make those fights happen.
Yeah,
there's definitely a way to make those fights happen.
Those are his biggest fights at 54. And if man, I feel like Turkey Al-Sheikh has a little interest in that division. He had 2 fights at 54 for that August 3rd card. He had Zoo and Virgil and the main event. So I mean, I feel like he was gonna start a tournament, and
I think he's still
his
trying to
name
do
in
it.
that hat. Yeah, he should, man.
I think he should. I think we get to see that 4 King shit.
Yeah,
you got me cursing in that 154 division. Everybody thought it was gonna be 4 Kings with Ryan, Tank.
Now you got Clay cursing. Don't be getting Clay cursing now.
Listen, I'm trying not to. You see, you got me out my character.
Look, but, that's you, Lance. I'm just messing.
Yeah, Lance got me cursing. But yeah, man, at 135, we thought it was Devin, Tank, Shakur, Tio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reality is Errol, Terrence, Errol, Terrence, Boots, Virgil or Tim Zoo. However you want to go back, let them figure it out.
I thought Tim Zoo.
I say let Virgil and Tim Zoo go at it. And the winner of them could be the King. Okay. And that's right there. That's a good year and a half, 2 years. I say about a solid 2 years of some good fights, right?
Yeah.
To get one. When you want to compare back to Hagler, Hearns, and Roberto Duran, and you know what I'm saying? When you want to bring it back then, this is our version of that right now. Those guys is old school cloth. They come from that cloth. They come from that. All of them are come from that. Ain't none of them scared. They all tough. They all punches. They all box and punch. Ain't no. I mean, all of them in their own right. Virgil coming in to try to take your head off. Tim trying to take your head off. Bud trying to take your head off. Boots trying to take your head off. Come on, man. Bring them boys over in the same division, bro. Yeah, and let Turkey be there to make sure they all get the money they're supposed to get, so we can get the fights we want to get.
All right, let me ask a question. How interested are you guys in wanting to see Spence Crawford 2?
I will watch it. I think I will watch it.
Depends how he looks against Pandora.
I'll tell you, yeah.
Yes.
Right. That's what I was going to say. It depends on how Earl looks in his next fight.
See, that's what, and this is why I think Earl is playing chess, because he's going after Fundora that got 2 of those 4 belts, right? So we got Crawford, who's willing to go up there. He's trying to get this belt from Madrimal. So it's basically like if Spence happens to win, because Fundora he's a tricky fighter. If Spence happens to win, he's probably going to be able to have the demands over how things going to go the next fight, because he's going to have 2 of the 4 belts. So that means
the WBC said they're gonna that winner has to fight Crawford.
Yep.
Fundora got the WBC and the WBO.
Or Spence, whoever wins that fight.
Yeah, but let me tell you how ill Terrence is really the one running this right now. Yeah, he really the one running it right now, because Terrence is about to fight for that WBA and the WBO interim. As soon as Fundora gets in the ring with Spence, that WBO is getting stripped from him. The WBO is taking that belt from him. Whoever wins between, and we're expecting Terrence, but whoever wins between Israel and Terrence are going to get upgraded to a full WBO champion at that point. Sebastian,
I got nothing but love for Terrence, and also one thing that I think is that Spence is going to have a hard time coming back against a high-level opponent.
Yeah, I think too.
Even though he's a very high-level fighter,
he's been gone too long, man. I agree with you.
But
Sebastian's a very awkward fighter for him to fight against before his comeback.
But a second fight with Terrence doesn't mean nothing to me. To me personally, I think that the second fight, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But with Terrence, let's just say the winner between Israel. Just to be fair, I'll say the winner between Israel and Terrence is going to become a unified champion once Sebastian gets in that ring with Errol. So no longer will Sebastian Fundora or Errol Spence be a unified champion. They no longer have the leverage. And then on top of that, the WBC said that Terrence Crawford is going to be the mandatory, which is crazy that he'll have a belt and still be a mandatory. That he'll be the mandatory to the WBC title for whoever has that. So he's getting in right there.
Talk about the WBC title. Which title, in all respect, which title do y'all find the most? I don't know. Which title has the most accolades to y'all today?
I think the WBO.
I go to IBF just because I know that's they enforcing mandatories. They'll strip you if you didn't fight your mandatory.
What about the weigh-ins?
And they do the rehydration, the 10 pounds.
Okay. All right. So you respect the IBF, and the other fella respects the IBO. Or I'm sorry,
WBO.
WBO. And the WBC. How do y'all feel about them? With everything that's going on, and just the current status of boxing today.
I think they just out there because they don't even have a champion right now, is the way it seems.
Who?
I think WBC? Mario Barrios is.
Nah, I'm looking at the updated version right here, and it's got Sebastian Fundora is listed as the WBC and WBO champion, and Jermell Charlo is in recess.
Yeah.
But,
So does that impact your just overall ideology of the WBC, or
that's just my opinion.
Sure. Okay.
That is my opinion.
I get you.
But I think it's shaping up like it's going to be because I think Earl really wants to try to prove himself, and that's why he's making that move, because Terrence ain't interested in doing it. Most of the fans ain't really interested in seeing it, but I think that's why he's making this play, because he really wants to show the fans that it wasn't him. And I just think that, from what I saw, Terrence was levels better than him. And I think that Fundora, I'm not sleeping on Fundora. The 2 times that I've seen him, that awkward style, man, is just tough. And he's tall and he's sticking that jab out there and he's just pointing dudes, man. He's just pointing dudes.
Let's look at it. That was really the last time he worked on his jab. I think Earl does make this fight tough, man. Y'all sleeping on the inside game of Earl. Earl likes inside. And I think that dude, being as tall as he is, that's body snatching written all over it. And I think Earl can really hurt him with the body in that fight. By the way, JR Spock, you were trying to talk. I think you're on mute. I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now because I knew you were trying to talk, and I was trying to tell you that. But I think that definitely could be a easy going fight for Earl, but difficult because he has to get past the jab. And Fundora is not ashamed of fighting on the inside. Problem is, last time he got clipped, he was fighting on the inside, so he learned from that, hopefully. So he doesn't try to get into that battle with Earl, but we'll see.
Yeah, JR, what were you building on before?
Man, I was just talking about the sanctioning organizations. The problem with them is that none of them are governmental, and none of them are nonprofit. They're all for-profit organizations. There's a conflict of interest. All these. The WBO, the WBA, the WC, IBF, they're all freaking corrupt, man. They're all corrupt.
Some more than others, right? That WBC, I think, is they just do whatever they want to do, however they feel like doing it, when they want to do it. They don't give a damn, bro.
Canelo, Earl, Devin brings them a lot of money. That's all I'm going to say. See how they move. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's 100%, but I see it.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
How do you guys feel about Teofimo activating his mandatory on his WBO to go at Brian Norman?
I think he's gonna lose.
I mean, that's how you try to get a Bud Crawford fight, I guess. Go beat a 47-pounder.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I commend him.
Boots, right?
Yep, I commend him on going, trying to make it happen. I mean, I like his showmanship. I mean, he's the flashy part what boxing need. You know, I like him, but if he comes with his mind focused and box, he's a really good boxer. Because what I seen with when his best bout that I seen is with when he beat Lomachenko. I mean, he was good, but all that other stuff, man, he leave that stuff alone, man.
He abandoned the jab. That's his problem. All his
His
fights.
best fight that you seen was what?
Lomachenko. You might want him. He's gonna say Josh Taylor.
Richard. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick, Richard. Don't be a dick, Richard.
Cool. Anyway.
Damn, I was talking about the sanctioning bodies and I was on mute the whole time. I'm amazing. This is Monday. God. I was like, how come no one's listening to me? As far as the sanctioning body, I think that everybody has their pros and cons. Like, there's not one that I'm like, hell yeah, 100%. The WBO, I'm kind of waiting or disappointed that they haven't done anything. Janabek went to the hospital because of his weight cut. The last guy that did that was John Real Casimiro. He was Filipino. He was supposed to fight Paul Butler, his mandatory in Dubai. He went to the hospital the week of the fight. They immediately sent him a letter that said, if the next time you don't step in that ring for whatever reason, doesn't matter what the reason, he will be stripped. He was stripped in, and so they knew that. Unfortunately, the reason he got stripped in the UK was because he was using the sauna, and that's against the BBBOC rules. So they stripped him. End of story. Wow. But this is a mirror of Casemiro. Why does Janabek get to, like, I mean, I don't know if he did. Let me just say that. I don't know if he got a letter, and we just don't know about it. Right. But it's, if you're going to make a rule, then it has to apply for all. So IBF, one of the things that I like about them is that they really just stick to, it doesn't matter if it's a popular fight or not. Like, this is by the book. These are the rules. What I don't like is that 10-pound hydration. I'd rather change that to a 10% hydration. If we're going to do I feel like we should go on percentages, because 10 pounds for someone like Nonito or under, it's really hard for them to gain 10 pounds as it is. But someone that comes in, let's just say 175 pounder, like that's what, two gallons of water and a meal, and they're already up 10 pounds. So I think it really, if we talk about the percentages, I think that's a more fair platform to play on. WBC, the one thing I do like is the fun part of being at the conventions, because you get to argue your positions in real time, and they move the positions. They don't have to sit there and you have to wait. You request it if your opponent's there or someone who's not okay with the ranking that you're requesting. You can argue your point, and they'll either approve it or not, and they'll move it. Like I said, on the Excel spreadsheet. The only problem is I have seen. I think it was Caleb Plant versus. I think it was Benavidez. Was it Benavidez? I think it was Benavidez. Because Samson was fighting for it. And they had sanctioned that in that year, November 2022, that the winner was going to be mandated to fight, Canelo Alvarez. And we see that didn't happen. So it's things like that, kind of goes all over the place. Yeah.
All right. That's frustrating, I guess. So and here, I live in Toronto, we do same day weigh-ins. Like, my brother, he fights at 154. He's 6'3", and he weighs in 6 a.m. in the morning, and then fights at night. But it's like, I think that's the safest way to do it, man. There's no cheating. You got to make sure your weight's on point.
And it makes people say real about where they're supposed to be at. Like, people stop.
There's no way you're going to train on a fight day. So there could be
here's
rule
the problem
changes.
with that is, like, dudes are still going to push it.
Right.
And then what you're going to end up with is somebody that's severely dehydrated fighting somebody, getting their head bashed in, and you get permanent damage.
Or both guys.
Because they don't even get an opportunity to really rehydrate. at that
They're
point.
gonna put, dude. They're gonna push it either way.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you see it in the amateurs too. Like I was talking to this, like Delonte Johnson. He used to fight at 52 in the amateurs. He's a 40-pounder in the pros, just because he got that extra day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
He
and
would
in
never
addition,
do
the
that.
amateurs, yeah, and the amateurs went. Well, when I fought, it was always on the same day. It was the competition. But when Nonito told me that if he moved, like it's a 5-day tournament, if you keep, winning, the next day you have to reweigh. So you
Yeah,
really walked
exactly.
around, your
Same
weight.
weight.
But my argument with, the same day, or even if they do get 24 hours, if we're going to stick with 24 hours, then it should be 24 hours, but it's not 24 hours. It's way earlier than that. It's almost to 48 hours if we actually count it.
Yeah,
Because they're
exactly.
stepping in that scale at 8 a.m. They're not getting in the ring sometimes 9, 10, 11, depending on, what time zone. So with that, I think there has to be some medical test, a medical instrument that can actually calculate the dehydration percentage and say, okay, nope, sorry, on this test you're too, like, this is whatever that percentage is, that's severely dehydrated. You can't hit that mark. If you hit that, then we're going to say no, you can't, because you're already dangerous. We've seen fighters that are being carried to the scales, and how the doctors are standing there and being like okay with it is
Crazy.
it baffles me.
Yeah.
Money. It's that
UFC
bread,
does
that
all the
mighty
time.
dollar.
And you think they use the Olympics as a testing tool like that? Because if you go far in the Olympics, you're weighing in almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
So like, just use it then. They're amateurs. They're going through the same process as the pros in a way. They got to cut weight. But yeah, I totally agree. They should have somebody that's testing that for sure.
The thing about weight cutting is it's like trying to regulate free market capitalism. Like, your intentions are good, but in the end, you're just creating like this whole muddled area of red tape and bureaucracy. It will self-regulate. Okay, if a fighter cuts too much, his performance goes down. Okay, and if a fighter doesn't need to cut a lot and he has good performance, he's not going to cut a lot, and that's it. I think we're getting a little bit too nitpicky with all this weight stuff.
I think that's where Tank has really been winning at though too.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, recently. Because remember, Tank was still coming in before he just recently took his hiatus. Unfortunately, not on his terms. But when he took his hiatus, he was coming in before that. He was a natural walk around 150. A lot of people don't know that. He actually dropped his weight down to 130, 140, 130, so he can make that 135 easy and come in easier. Actually, and I'm glad you said that, because, again, I'm going to say this is the first time you're going to hear me say this, and the only time. I think Devin is actually taking this page out of Tank's book, because I don't think he copied his clothes, his hair, his car, his boots, his shoes, his jewelry, and all that. But I think he is taking a page. That's why I think he's taking this year off, because I think he's trying to come closer to 140 or 147. That's why he's saying he can fight at any weight, because I think that whole Floyd thing with being closer to weight and being strong there is going to help him be a better fighter. And I think that hurt him. So he wants to be able to come in closer to weights instead of struggle and come in looking like his eyes is about to pop out of his head. So I think that we're going to start seeing that in the trend, thanks to Tank. I think we're going to see that in the trend of boxing. And if Devin does it successfully, we'll start seeing it in other places of boxing as well.
I don't think it's going to make it. I don't think it's going to weigh itself out eventually, because of the fact that there's way too many governing bodies. There's way too many commissions. Everyone has their own rules. I had talked to Andy Foster about this before, and he had said, the problem is if we do establish a second day weigh-in with 10% or 15%, then they're going to eat and they're going to drink, and they're probably going to go and run and dehydrate themselves again just to make the 10% weight limit, or not even not hydrate enough. And if they're not hydrating enough, again, we have that same problem, that there's not enough fluid in their brain to protect them, when they're fighting.
So wouldn't a good thing for that to be, say, okay, well, let's give a timeline. So let's say 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say 6 hours before the fight, your weigh-in happens, and you have to come in at that weight after the that 6 hour point before the first fight or whatever, the 8 o'clock show. So we're looking at like 2 o'clock. You can go ahead and rehydrate to whatever, but as long as you do it at that time frame, because I think what you're saying is a good point, and I think what happens is we're giving them a morning second day weigh-in in the morning. Anyway, when they're doing their cover weigh-in, so they're doing everything anyway. So why don't they just do another weigh-in, like in the morning, just to give them, what their rehydration is? They can't go over a percentage, but then I think the IBF does that, right? Like they get their second weigh-in at 10 o'clock, and
10 pounds, I think.
Right, and then a certain amount of time, like 12 o'clock or something, they can just go whatever, and they just fill in whatever. And it takes, I think that's more nutrition. The nutrition's better. I think their health is better, and I think it helps both sides, both opponents in the ring. And I think it covers all grounds.
Kind of, because I mean, again, if you're talking about like science, based on science, like you're betting on the fact that someone's actually going to be able to retain the water that they're taking in, because now you cut them down to, like you said, like, okay, 6 hours before the fight, now you can gain as much as you want. Okay, well, they're going to try to down as much water. Well, when you overhydrate your body thinks that it naturally flushes itself out way quicker. It's not going to even hold into any of the muscles or the tissues and go to where it needs to be, because you're just trying to down everything to get in there and stay in there. But now you're peeing so much, you're sweating even more profusely, because your body's like, what the hell are you doing? You're drowning me.
All right, listen, hit the horn for Rachel, because that's some good science right there.
Well, honestly, like that's how the best, like everybody knows, like if you're going to weight cut the right way, you're supposed to overhydrate Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday night, you start cutting out the water. So if that's the case, if you reverse it and you take them all out and then you try to drown yourself in water, it's going to do the same thing.
So I have a question, Rachel. Do you think they should do like a full year weight? Like look at these guys' weight and say, hey, man, you can't get over this many pounds or whatever, because you're just going to cut too much weight for the camps? Like monitor their weight throughout the year?
I will tell you that the WBC does have something like that. And it's supposed to be, I think it starts at 30 days. And you're supposed to have weight checks. The problem with the weight check, if you guys saw it with Ryan Garcia, is it's his, allegedly it's his feet on a scale, like a picture. So how is that supposed to be, how do you regulate it to make sure that, hey, you really are, right for, like, it gets so dicey these days.
Well, Tevin Haney looks like he blows up a lot, so that's why I asked that. Like he balloons.
Man, they all do, but another way to solve this would be to make the weight differences bigger, like the disparity between the two divisions. So guys wouldn't be so tempted to try and cut the line, and get so close to the edge. Like if you went 125, 135, 145, 155, so on.
Right.
Kind of like the UFC model. I mean, look, like I said, guys are still going to push the limits, no matter what you guys do.
Right.
They're still going to push the limits.
Yup. They're going to try to fight for that edge.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an edge, man. I don't know. Like, I know my brother can make 47 if he wanted to, but he doesn't feel good there, so he won't do it.
Yeah,
but that's the goal, right? To blow back up the next day and have that leverage. I'm the bigger guy in the ring, but at the same time, I think Devin Haney had to learn the hard way. Like, you the bigger guy physically looking in the ring, but inside you're not. You're really the weaker guy. You're the more lethargic guy. You're the guy you're the chinny guy. You know what I'm saying?
Only 2 times has he looked healthy since the Gillette fight.
Right.
Yeah, and that was Regis and second Campbell. Was second or first Campbell's fight? First.
Probably the second one, he looked better in the second.
That was the second one. Okay, yeah.
He fought better, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it was the first fight he came in looking normal. The second fight he looked sunken in. It was like, Joe, you look crazy. You need to move out of here.
Yeah.
All right, guys, listen. Oh, you know what time it is. I gotta go see if I got dinner this morning.
It's an hour over that time, Clay. We kept you,
man. See what I do, man. Trying to hold it down, man. Trying to be brave. Tomorrow we're we definitely going to jump into. We're going to start talking about these August 3rd card fights. Terrence. We're going to talk about Isak. We're going to talk about him and Rayo. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, bro. Trust me. You know what I mean? It's going to be better tonight for me because I'm tired, bro. It's going to be in 3 hours. I'll be up for 24 hours.
Wow.
3 hours.
Get some sleep, man.
Claymore, Ray, thank you guys so much.
Always.
I love your program. It's so moderated. It's so educated. It's everything I've been looking for. So I appreciate you guys so much, man. You have a great night.
We appreciate it.
Hey.
You guys do that. You guys do that. Appreciate it.
Nah, definitely. Look, you guys helped me all night for an hour after, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I was sitting back here resting, trying to keep my eyes open, but listening to everything that was going on. Rachel, always coming through. Rachel, do you enjoy yourself when you come on the channel?
I do. It's chill. It's chill. You know, we have good discussion. We all respect each other, and even if we disagree, it's not like, you know, we're calling each other names. So
Yeah, no.
No, and I like talking to people from different like aspects and what, you know, other people's viewpoints are and things like that. Helps me like help with, you know, the fighters today and what they're going through. So, but Clay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to jump on tomorrow. It's my eldest son's 11th birthday. So and then I got to head out to Stockton. If anyone's in Stockton, y'all come out to go watch Gabe Flores Jr. fight on Saturday. I'll be there. No Need will be there too.
It's in
So.
Cali, right?
Yep, Cali. In Cali. But it was great meeting you guys. Everyone else that was on the panel. Claymore, get some rest,
All right.
Ray. Talk to you guys later. Yeah, bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you guys.
All you guys, man. Appreciate you guys showing up, man, for the show.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Let me play the outro because we out.
We out, son.
The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight.